Hello, I'm Conrad Bain. Tonight on
The Gen-Xers,
we're starting a special two-part show on a very sensitive and important subject.
That American children these days are obsessed with the whole disgusting death.
So these latchkey children wait home alone for mom and dad.
Most of you who watched the ABC movie the day after are probably still feeling just a little numb right now.
Certain parts of the men's uniforms all accentuate Smurfs has gone occultic.
Sit, Ubu, sit.
Hey, turkeys, this is Dan and Margie.
Hey.
We're the Gen-Xers.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween.
Happy
everybody.
Halloween. I thought you were...
The what?
I thought you were coming in a costume.
I did. Does anybody out there know who I am? I'm Mallory's boyfriend, Nick, from Family Ties. Hey, yo, Mallory. Hey, Alex. What's up, bro?
Oh. Excuse me.
Yeah.
You know, couples costumes only work when the couples come as together.
Aren't you Mallory?
No.
That's how I remember Mallory looking.
All right. Well, happy Halloween, guys. Hopefully everybody out there is having a lovely Halloween this evening. I do like your costume, by the way.
This is how I'm going to dress from now on.
Okay.
That's how I dressed in the 80s. I'm
Me
bringing
too.
it back. Why not?
Me too. Was this an 80s look, do you think? At some point?
Kind of, yeah. Now look, folks, you can tell by these bags under my eyes, this is way past my bedtime already. Whose idea was to do this thing in the middle of the night? My gosh.
Yeah, we should have already begun at 4 p.m.
Yeah, long time ago.
So we're doing this for you guys.
Yeah.
We've done this whole show for you. We got a lot of stuff coming up on this show.
Margaret, I'm going to throw a curveball at you.
Okay.
We forgot to do our NBA Finals last week. Do you feel prepared to give a prediction or not?
Yes.
Who do you think is going to be in the NBA Finals, and who do you think is going to win?
Okay. No, I did have an answer for this, and my answer was that Oklahoma and the Knicks would face off again, but this time the Knicks would come out on top.
Really?
Yes.
That's pretty good. I would... Boy,
I don't know.
That might be what I'd go with, too. Actually.
Seriously?
Well, I'm gonna go with a dark horse because I always like to make sure I don't get it right. So I'm not gonna take a logical pick. I'm gonna say that those old Golden State Warriors gonna do it one more time, prove everybody wrong. And out of the East, probably the Knicks. Then Golden State's gonna win. Of course, I say that every year for the last 3 years that this is year. And one year they did, though.
Right.
Proved everybody wrong. No one thought they'd win it. Hey, Chris, happy Halloween. Hope you're doing well.
Hello.
Hope you got lots of candy. Have you seen the price of chocolate out there, Margaret?
I have. It was at a premium this Halloween. There were a lot of not chocolates out there.
We went to your mother-in-law's to help give out candy and just look at some of the trick-or-treaters. We don't really get any here. And my father-in-law was complaining about how bad this Halloween was because there was no chocolate to be found, apparently.
Luckily, I had a handful. I had picked through the candy and kind of gotten some extra chocolate. We brought some extra chocolate too, so we had some emergency stores for him. So
it is expensive out there. My goodness, if you want to have a cup of coffee and a piece of Halloween chocolate, it set you back about $25.
Well, yeah, I was looking at Halloween prices here. I don't know where you guys are at. We're in the Midwest, and so we, have the advantage of having a lot of the cheaper prices here. But we were looking at, candy that was, bags that, the regular size, the larger size bags of chocolate candy were like 26 to 30 some odd dollars for maybe 50 to 75 pieces, little,
Well, we got a pack of hot dogs the other day, almost $7. I was going to give those out for Halloween. Too expensive.
Yeah. That would have been great.
Did you ever get any weird thing for Halloween in your bag, like healthy food or a toothbrush or any of that nonsense sometimes people would give?
Yes. We used to go, I used to look forward to those things, though.
Really? Like an apple or no toothbrush?
Not an apple. Don't be lame. Come on now. Not an apple. A toothbrush, though. I did. We used to go to a neighborhood closer to the city, you know, because we lived kind of, it wasn't quite country. I guess county. We lived county area. It wasn't quite country. It wasn't quite city. It was somewhere in between. But we would go up closer to the city. And there was a dentist that would give out, you got to pick the color of your toothbrush, which was really cool. You know, in a family of 5, you don't always get to choose your color. You get like the, I don't know, the yellow one.
Sure.
You know, you're like, well, I wanted the red one, but whatever. But yeah, you got a little toothpaste. And then the bank would give out little, what is it? The penny banks, the piggy banks.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they would.
I bet never gave me nothing but an overdraft fee.
Yeah. But
We need a little drummer back there.
We do.
These one-liners. Chris got Johnson Johnson dental floss, man.
Oh, that's
That is
pretty
bad.
bad. Yeah.
Opening that up.
Like, at least I got a toothbrush, you know. I got to pick the color of the toothbrush. That's pretty exciting. But, yeah, I used to like getting the non-candy
vintage.
stuff sometimes, but no apples, no. No.
No, yeah, I'd get apples. For the guy across the street, actually, he would give a candy bar, like a good one, and an apple. He'd say, one healthy thing and one bad thing for you. How many kids do you think actually ate that apple? Not many.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you'd probably just put it up in your bowl of fruit at home. Like, there you go.
I want to show my vintage Van Halen shirt real quick.
Yeah.
Not Van Hagar. It's
Right.
the real deal.
Would Nick have liked Van Halen?
I got this from Nick.
Oh, yeah.
We've been friends for a long time, since the
Okay.
80s.
All right, yeah. Yeah.
No, Ashley, our daughter got me this for last Christmas or Father's Day or something.
Well, we're here doing our Halloween, Spook Scribe-a-thon?
Yeah, we keep calling it spooktacular, but everywhere I go and look, I see something being described as spooktacular.
No.
We don't want to be that cliche.
It's a Spook Scribe-a-thon.
We're the 6,753rd ranked podcast on YouTube. Our fans expect something.
We're the creme de la creme. No, we're having a Spook Scribe-a-thon, and we have a goal that we wanted to meet this evening. Get some more subscribers. And also, you know, we like hanging out with you guys and wanted to do a special Halloween celebration with you guys.
Yeah, we're going to go for 2-3 hours. We'll just see how it goes. If we at least 10 more subscribers, I'm going to show a documentary that we made back in 1976. It used to show at the old drive-in theaters about the Missouri Squampa-Lump, which is kind of like a Bigfoot, except it's a bigger.
Right.
It's
more Midwestern.
Has not been seen since 1976. I was like 3 when we made that. You were a much more mature 4.
Right. Yeah.
How does it feel to be a cradle robber? All right. So we were over at your mom's enjoying some Halloween, and somebody, not a trick-or-treater, walked down the road with her music blaring like a boombox. As far as I know, are those back? Is that back? Is that a thing?
I don't know. I couldn't see if they had a boombox, but it seemed to be an external. Like, it didn't look like a phone or an iPod or anything like that. It looked like a radio, something of substance that they were holding and blaring this music.
It has been a thing, I think, people playing music real loud on their phones in public and not caring or whatever. That's fine, but if people want to bring it back, I'm getting my old-fashioned boombox, and I'm carrying it around my shoulder, and people got their phone jacked up. We had some old-fashioned battles like back in the day.
You want to throw down?
Run some
I got
Run
double
DMC.
cassettes in this thing.
I'll start carrying out a piece of cardboard and throwing down some breakdancing. Breaking bones. The only breakdancing I do.
Bones dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't do that, probably.
Look, you know how I get when it comes to a dance-off.
Mm-hmm.
Can't
But
help
yeah,
myself.
tell your friends. Tell them to come on and see our show. We're going to be on here for a couple hours sharing some
Yeah.
clips with you guys and some conversation.
Get on the horn, call them up. You're our only friends. That's why we're here streaming on a Friday night. But we're assuming you all got more than we got.
We had a really great time this Halloween week. Because I'm going to ask you, how was your Halloween week? Was it good?
Yeah, I mean, we've been, trying to put this thing together. We've watched more scary movies this month than I've watched in a long time.
Yeah.
Trying to get our first annual Spooktacular Subscribe-a-thon together. So it's been a good one.
Yeah, we had a really good Halloween week. We watched a bunch of scary movies and reviewed them. And go look at those videos. They're pretty cool. We did Pumpkinhead. We did The Frighteners. We did a deep dive on Phantasm that was spectacular. You should absolutely look at. We did The Exorcist.
Phantasm deep dive no one asked for.
But needed. We all needed. You're like a Phantasm historian.
Yeah, I am. I'm a preeminent Phantasm scholar.
Somebody should give you some sort of honorary degree, I'm thinking, So if you're out there and you can offer that somehow
I'll take it.
from your place of learning. But yeah, we did a whole bunch of reviews of scary movies, which were way fun. A whole bunch of people helped us with some true scary stories we're going to be sharing with you.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to invite Bloody Mary to come see us in a little bit.
Look, this crazy lady has decided she's going to summon Bloody Mary right here live.
Yeah.
For everybody, if you believe that.
Yeah.
She's going to chop us up.
No, I'll talk to her. Don't even worry about it, okay? We're going to try this out. I haven't tried this since middle school, but I was well versed in the Bloody Mary ritual.
We had some. We'll talk about urban legends and stuff a little bit later on. But yeah, we had that one. We had some weirder ones even probably. Tara's here. She says happy Halloween. I'm
Happy
here,
Halloween.
boy.
Boy.
Tara is the only person I've ever met that likes Phantasm as much as me, probably.
You think so? Is she? Do you think she's a fanatic?
At least of the first one, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. You know what? So this week, oh, well, it's not in here, but I'll just tell you guys about it. I saw and this wasn't the only thing, but I saw Christmas yogurt out today, this very day, Halloween day.
Yeah.
This day hasn't even hit midnight.
No.
And the Christmas yogurts are out. Don't ask me why I was looking at Christmas yogurts. It's a whole story. But anyway, yeah, everybody knows that we wait until after the Gen-Xers Halloween special before we start putting up Christmas lights and getting out Christmas yogurts.
That's true. Let's make that a new tradition, Walmart.
It's way early. But yeah, we did have we had a bunch of fun. We had a bunch of candy too.
I like to rustle around my papers like a serious reporter sometimes.
It's a good one. Can I do
Sure,
this?
I can't think of anything to say. Oh, Tara says Reggie's the man. Yeah, he is. You know, and I do too. Tara, he is in hospice, and he's looking for fans to write him letters. But I've got his address, and I'll find it during one of our clips, and I'll read it out loud to everybody.
Yeah. He's looking for some letters. He's specified, I want letters. I don't, real, written letters to send to him. And we definitely want to send a couple letters and give our love. So, yeah, we love Reggie, too.
Oh, yeah.
He's great.
All right. So, Marge, we're out there giving away those candies. Chocolate is an all-time high. Do you remember those old, I guess they still do it, I guess, and it's paying off. Invest in gold. Forget stocks, forget bonds, forget college, invest in gold. Now it's chocolate.
Now it's chocolate.
Chocolate and coffee. Put all your money in chocolate and coffee.
I would
people.
totally invest in both of those things.
I know, but it'd be like having a drug addict invest in...
We already have invested in both of those things, right? In a lifetime of usage. But yeah, well, so back in the day, chocolate or no, we had a really good bowl of candy, a selection of candy. We had the Lick'em Sticks, the gummies, the bubble gum, the Skittles, all the good stuff. But what was your favorite, like back in the day when you were trick or treating?
Well, I thought we could do it like, especially for all your new thousands and thousands of people watching. We
Right.
do a little segment on here sometimes called Top 3. Maybe you even played it before with your friends. We just pick a random topic and count down your top 3 backwards from 3 to 1.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a couple here tonight. This first one, top 3 Halloween candies. And then we're going to do a bonus worst candy. Why did you open up that bag and be like, mm-mm.
Yeah. Because everybody traded. Everybody got out. That was the best part, was when you dumped out your bag and you traded your stuff with every. Did you do that?
Yeah, we would do that. Me and my friend Jason would do it. Me and my cousin Chucky would do it. Though he would just not trade with me just to be cantankerous, because that's how he is, Chucky.
My sister would do that to me. Barb would do that to me. She'd be like, no. Because she'd
wouldn't
know.
even like it.
That was my favorite thing. I'd be like, I'll give you. And she'd hold out. I'd be like, I'll give you 2
Siblings.
of these for 1 of those. And she'd be like, oh, I don't know. And then I'd be like, I'll give you 3. And she'd get all of my candy.
Well, what's your third one?
My number 3 top Halloween candies. So there was a fad back in our day that had just begun, where they had started making like little foods out of like gum and gummy stuff. So there was suddenly like gummy tacos and gum pizza and gummy burgers and fries and all this novelty little foods that were made from candy. And I used to love getting those, even though they weren't that tasty. I think I like the novelty of them, which is silly, but
You do still like gummies, though, like the Albanese or the whatnots?
I do still love some gummy candies. They have to be like certain ones, like, yeah.
Well, the last time I ate gummies, my third eye opened. My number 3, like all our daughters have made fun of me our entire life for eating old people candy, and I don't even know how they ever knew what old people candy was, but I guess they're right. I like the sassafras, Jorge on the candy,
Right.
black root,
Right.
black licorice,
The
whatever.
black root.
And my number 3 kind of fits in there. Chico sticks. I like a good old fashioned Chico sticks. It used to be about 10 cents for one of those things, man.
Did you get those a lot in Halloween candy?
I mean, sometimes, yeah, you get little ones.
Okay.
They were cheap is why, and I lived in poor kind of neighborhood, so they were cheaper than a lot of candy. So, yeah, I guess I would get a lot of them.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I like Chico sticks.
Yeah, I
They're not
still
bad.
like them. They're hard to find, but every once in a while, like if your brother-in-law will see one out at a gas station or somewhere and grab one for me.
Right. My problem is I always then eat them in the car, and then they're everywhere once you get done, because you're eating them and they're
They'll stick in your teeth. They'll really,
crumbling all
Yeah.
over the place.
that's for sure.
My number 2 was pixie sticks or lick'em sticks. And what I'm thinking is, I think the powder sugar form.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes. Not so much now, but when I was younger, the powder sugar that you just directly, poured it on your tongue, got right into that blood system really quickly. And that's what I was going for.
Did you ever, or have a kid in your school, like we had a kid in our school who'd snort them, like, it'd stick up and like, whoa.
I think we all tried that like once. Or...
Did it work? Did you get sugar?
No, it was horrible and awful. No, I think it just gagged us. We were like, no.
If we were like Bad Friends or some podcast with 1 million people and I held up that Fun Dip, tomorrow morning we'd have a box of Fun Dip. Free Fun Dip.
We might. Well, if we hit. So Dan set a goal, by the way, earlier of 10 subscribers, which is fine. And that's great. And I love it. And every one of you guys love when you subscribe. My goal is a little bit bigger, and I'm aiming for 1 billion is what I'm doing.
Let's make it happen. So mote it be.
That's right. Right.
As they say, as the Masons, the Freemasons, or somebody, I don't know who says it. I heard it somewhere.
Yeah. No. So what was your number 2?
Homemade popcorn balls, man. On the street I grew up on, my grandma lived here, and we all lived with her, my parents included. Her brother lived the house down. Other brother lived the next house down. Third brother lived next house down. across the street from him lived her sister, so they all just bought a house on the same street, I guess, when they were
That would
young.
be cool. Yeah.
And so Aunt Jessie would make these homemade popcorn balls that were so good. And then close to the end time of my trick-or-treating, I guess, she stopped doing them because a lot of parents wouldn't take them because they were homemade. I guess they had heard that rumors, or they're just weirded out about it, or whatever. They wanted packaged candy or nothing.
That became a thing. That became a thing, you know, when you were
Yeah.
young. But yeah. But I remember when my mom would make popcorn balls.
Yeah.
And she made 2 different kinds. And one was like a taffy, more of a taffy, and one was a caramel. Or maybe I'm thinking of candy apples that she used to make.
Both
But
are good.
delicious, both of them. I would take that apple
Yeah.
if somebody put a candy apple.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, let us know out there if you ever had a popcorn ball, maybe to tell us what age you are. We can guess your age by whether or not you've had some of this candy, probably.
Right. If you're like popcorn ball, what?
Chris says, let's shoot for 3K. I would like to have 3K. That'd be great.
Aim for the
I'd
middle.
settle
Yeah.
for 3K, yeah.
What's wrong with 1 billion? No,
I mean, I'm
kidding.
no mathematician, but I'm not sure 3K is in the middle of 10 and a billion, though.
It falls in the middle. I'm with that kind of math. It falls in the middle. It's good.
All right.
My number 1 back then, which, I still loved chocolate and all that stuff, but my number 1 was probably Jawbreakers for a long time. I was like obsessed with Jawbreakers, and especially with the Everlasting Gobstopper, because I was obsessed with Willy Wonka. And that one actually changed colors. As you licked it, it would change colors as you worked towards the middle. It was really cool.
I remember those. I would have loved to have went trick-or-treating with you. One, because it would just have been amazing that a girl was talking to me. That would have been my first treat. And 2, I would have loved to have traded candy with you at the end because you loved everything I hated. I didn't like any of that stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Not even the sugar, like, powder right on the tongue and just throw it down the hatch and there it
Not
is.
if I was given my druthers. I mean, I would take it in a pinch because it was food, but,
Right.
I'd rather have a Baby Ruth or chocolate or something.
It's
probably.
really questionable whether that's food, probably.
Well, so is my number 1, and I know we've debated these over the years. Peanut butter kisses. They're not. They're just kind of a generic thing you get them at the dollar store. They're usually. These were $1. The bag of chocolate, and the bags used to be much bigger, and the pieces used to be much bigger, but still, it's a bargain for what it is. The same price for Hershey's, but $8, $10, $1
$1.
for these beauties right here. Oh my goodness, they're so good. They're supposed to be peanut butter. They don't taste like peanut butter. This is pure corn syrup.
Yeah.
Love these things. You do not.
No, it's funny you say that because that is my
I
worst.
thought it might be.
Yeah, that is my worst candy. And I love peanut butter. I really love peanut butter. I wanted to see, sorry, this is like crinkling and all kinds of stuff. It is corn syrup, sugar, peanut butter. It does list peanut butter, even though I've never tasted it in this concoction before. Blah, 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 hydrogenated oil, soy, bioengineered food ingredients. No. Well, that and like if you eat one of these, you're stuck with it for the next hour because that's how long it's going to be in your teeth.
Yeah.
You're just that's your whole taste for the next hour, and it's nothing like peanut butter.
Delicious. Delicious.
My worst was that. Yeah. What was your worst?
My worst, probably the sweet tarts. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Not
The
my
sour. You didn't like the
Yeah.
sour.
Not too much. Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of sour. I do like lemonade. That's about as sour as I go.
I like lemonade.
It's good.
Well, you all know, if you watch this show any at all, that we're pretty serious about food around here. I went off on a few rants or 2 about it. Margie's may have had a couple herself. So we put together a little compilation of some of our food bits. We'll play that for you, and then we'll be back live here in just a little bit. We'll be here chatting with everybody in the chat and all that kind of stuff, though. So
Enjoy.
go. One time when I was a child, my grandma bought a box of Golden Grams, and we hardly ever got good cereal. We got you remember those big old bags of generic cereal? It'd be like Honey Puffs or something, Sugar Puffs.
Yes.
Not the greatest. That's what we usually got, or Cheerios or cornflakes or old people cereal, because we were pretty poor growing up. But every once in a while, my grandma would get a treat, and she got these Golden Grams, man, we were going to have them next day. I got my fat little behind up in the middle of the night, snuck in there. I was just going to get a little bowl of Golden Grams burger. Next thing I know, I'd ate 3/4. There was probably not a full bowl of Golden Grams left in that box by morning time. Oh, my grandma was mad, and she was a church-going woman, but she was cussing and kicking things and whatnot. I got blamed for it. I don't know why. Mark, what's the hardest you've ever eaten? What's the most you've ever just...
I think that time when I ate all those Hungry Jack biscuits. Hungry Jack! It was bad. I'm sorry to you, Hungry Jack biscuits. You've probably changed your formula since then. But back in the day, when they did that butter flavoring, they went hard. I loved it. For whatever reason, I loved that really fake buttery taste. And I ate, I don't know how many biscuits in a sitting one night for dinner. I recall it was dinner time. And then I was sick the rest of the night. It was horrible.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, because those are good.
I know.
They're much like Golden Grams in our house. We did not get Hungry Jacks very often. We got, and you're going to make fun of me because every time I talk about how poor I was, you make fun.
I do
We
not.
had white bread. Like my mom would toast some bread and we'd rip it up and put some gravy on top of it. That was our biscuit.
Well, yeah, we
And
done
those
that.
were on the good days.
Those were on the good days?
Yeah.
I'd hate to hear what was on the bad days.
So every once in a while, we'd get a Hungry Jack.
Wow, it sounds like we were rich over at my house, sitting on a pile of Hungry
you were
Jacks.
rolling around
and
on Hungry Jacks.
eating them till we
Like
were
Scrooge
sick.
McDuck.
Going back for more. The whole time he was making these baked beans, I heard that story.
I've been buying baked beans for a couple months now because I found some that were just delicious.
Right.
And I thought they were $4.99. Little expensive, but they were so good, I thought, why not? And it was a pretty big tub. Well, finally, I got 2 of them because I was like, I keep getting these things. I might as well stock up. Eating them so fast. Beans in the morning, beans for breakfast, and lunch and dinner. Midnight a snack. I'd get up in the middle of the night. Mario would say, where you going? I was like, I need them beans. Anyway, I got through the line there, man. And the lady said, do you know these are $14.99? And I about had a heart attack right there. And she said, yeah, man, I got to tell everybody that because everyone thinks they're $4.99 because that's what it looked like on the sticker. And because they're beans. And no one in their right mind thinks beans are going to be $15 freaking dollars. I've lamented on this show before about being a kid that had to go to the Husky section for his clothes. That's how they did us in the 80s, by the way. You all talk about body positivity. There was none of that back then. You walked into the store, some guy'd come up and look at you if you're a heavy kid like I was. If you were in the regular clothes, they'd say, these clothes ain't for you, kid. You come with me. And they'd take you to the special Husky section.
Yeah.
And that's where I did my clothes. But I eventually did lose some weight, as I got older. And I had me a half shirt for about a year. I mean... proof's in the pudding, fellas, am I right? Got me a lady. It worked for old Dan.
Not from that shit.
I beg to differ.
Only because you'd phased this look out by the time I showed up. I myself am addicted to at least 11 things on this list of 10 items, some of which include entire genres of food, such as processed snacks. Like, snacks are what I have for second breakfast, afternoon num-nums, and midnight nibbling. So now what do I do?
And we know what sells division. I mean, it's good for the news. It's good for politicians to get elected. So if one side does come out, it don't matter which one, says, hey, we got to do something about these microplastics. Other side's got to come out and say, microplastics, I love them. I rub them on my face for youth every morning. It's beautiful glowing skin. I like to just have a spoonful and sprinkle it on top of my cereal.
A spoonful. Yes, I too enjoy microplastics. It gives me my youthful face.
Look, between Elon Musk trying to put a chip in our brains and slowly turning into plastic, we are going to be Cylons. We will be androids soon enough.
Yeah, I think we're looking at this all wrong.
Yeah, this is the future. Did I ever tell you how I was paying $15 for baked beans unbeknown to me? I'll tell you what was happening, just to reiterate. I was going to the grocery store, and I found these baked beans, Kansas City baked beans. I mean, they're pretty healthy for baked beans, whatever. I was like, hey, I'm going to try these things out for $4.99. My gosh, they were good. I have never had such a culinary bean delight. One day I went in there, and I tell you, they saw a sucker coming every time I step into that store. And I got 2 things of these baked beans. And I got through the checkout, and luckily there was an older lady, a Gen X lady probably there, and she said, "Psst, I'm not supposed to tell you that's a bud, but them beans are $14.99, not $4.99. I know it looks like it on the sticker, but if you look real close, there's a little bitty 1 there." And I about dropped dead. I mean, they were good, but ain't no bean $15 good. I still got student loans. I don't need bean loans.
Right. That's what we got to do in today's world, guys, is look out for each other.
Right.
And tell each other when someone is obviously purchasing beans way out of hand.
Have you ever guzzled a jug of beans?
Don't you know
Answer
it?
that in the comments. If you've ever guzzled a jug of beans, give us one of those heart emojis. The human brain may contain as much as a spoon's worth of microplastics. New research suggests. That's from the Smithsonian magazine. I've heard of the Smithsonian. That's legit.
Yeah, I believe that's legit as well. And let's demonstrate this point,
take a
shall
look at
we?
this.
Shall we, Dan? If you could you show our viewers what it looks like when there's
There you go.
a spoon's worth of plastic in my head? If we do not get a hold of this, guys,
Okay, turn that away if you would.
it's gonna turn to that.
This is what it's going to be like 10 years. Everyone's going to have a spatula's worth of plastic in there.
Right. And how can I do a show like this? I'm going to be smacking Dan in the head. It's going to be all out of whack.
Well, this is how they do it. They don't have to worry mushrooms. They know spores that live thousands of years, Margie. And they just keep going until life evolves into us.
Right.
And then we evolve into someone who hopefully doesn't kill the planet off, and we make a rocket ship, take them to Mars. By accident, probably. A spore just happens to get on the side of the ship.
We don't have a little like Groot-like mushroom plant that we take with us.
No,
Called
that's
Sylvia?
like plant of mice a minute. It just happens to get on the edge of the ship, I guess.
I wanted to
Next
take
thing
a
you
plant
know-
called Sylvia.
Million years from now on Mars, guess what? There's some
What?
folks evolving up. We're gonna fly on to Uranus. Hey everybody, we're back. We hope you enjoyed that little compilation there. For some of you it was review. For you new folks.
Dan, I dressed as Mallory
What?
so I could.
Oh, I thought you were Daniel LaRusso. I dressed up like Johnny Lawrence. Cobra Kai never dies.
No, we got to
Strike first.
get together on this
Strike
kind of
hard.
costume thing.
No mercy.
Oh my, lovely wig though. I love it. Love it.
Wig, I dyed my hair while we were on break.
Oh yeah, the dedication. You know, it's what you'd expect from this podcast.
Look, while we were watching that, Chris said, "Did I miss the bean story?" What did you say?
I said, not if you've watched the last 50 videos.
Well, I got tired of hearing about those beans. But I tell you, I went in there, man. I don't know how many times I got those beans. $15 freaking dollars.
I think you were so upset because
That was a trick.
Well, yeah, that was why he was so upset, because he felt as if he'd been
betrayed.
had.
I was betrayed.
He was like, it wasn't just that I bought, I think at that point you'd bought maybe 4 to 6 containers.
I'm still having a hard time learning how to trust people again. Now look, I forgot to bring this out earlier, but I had this thing here.
Okay.
This is our board. I don't know, you all know I'm a big fan of Battlestar Galactica. You've seen it reported on in The View,
Right.
whatnot.
Right.
Well, she had a board that would keep track of how many humans were alive. I got one on how many subscribers we've got. We started out our subscribers on with 2,687. Marge, you want to give me a drum roll?
Yes.
You want to know how many we got now? We got -1. We're at 2,686.
All right. Yeah.
Keep that going.
That is hilarious. All right. Well, we gotta turn that around and put it in the other direction, guys.
The great bean betrayal. Chris is right about that. Tina said Tina Brown said she got a toothbrush one time. Yeah, that's the worst. Getting a toothbrush.
Oh, man.
Oh my gosh.
Well, let's talk about some Halloween memories, right? 'Cause,
Sure.
our big thrill is, of course, this show, which we love to do. And, but basically, dressing up and handing out the candy, So we don't get to do a whole lot now as older adults, come in here and do a podcast and that kind of stuff. But what are some of your favorite Halloween memories?
Well, I got my first real kiss trick-or-treating in 6th grade.
Oh.
I'd like kissed a girl on the cheek one time, and that's a whole other story because the teacher walked in right at that time. I had to write home a note to my mom saying I kissed a girl. It was just a little peck, whatever. But anyway, I kissed this girl on Halloween. You could say aw, or you think it's a sweet story.
Yeah.
It didn't turn out that great. Neither what I was doing, I guess. I got a tongue so thought out my throat. I started gagging. That put a damper on the whole night.
Oh gosh. Yeah. No.
Yeah,
no.
that was smooth.
Yeah.
That was smooth.
Well, you gotta. Yeah. No, so one of my favorite memories, but it kind of goes back in the day. But I have some, kind of sprinkled throughout because we have our girls, and it was really fun to go through a lot of Halloweens with them.
Sure.
But one of my earliest, really great Halloween memories was we had a pretty good neighborhood where all of our trick-or-treating was pretty much contained to our neighborhood. And so our neighborhood would get really into Halloween. Mm-hmm. And these neighbors down the street they upped the ante one year because she was dressed, it was a family, mother, father, 2 kids that we went to school with. But anyway, she dressed up as a witch, had a cauldron with actual dry ice in it with smoke rolling out. And he had dug out a concrete flower bed so he could lay down in it dressed as a vampire and rise up as kids were coming up to their house. It was crazy cool.
That's a going above and beyond.
That was probably one of the best Halloween decorations outdoor I've seen.
I remember one time with the girls, I dressed up like WCW World Champion Sting, and it scared our youngest daughter, Ashley, so I had to take it off before we ever even left the house.
Because he had the dark makeup
he had,
around his eyes.
There,
yeah.
And I remember when we lived in Michigan, and the town we lived in, Halloween was big there. It was like a flat little town. Everything was close together. It was a really walkable town. That was probably one of the reasons. And plus, as soon as it got October, winter started, and there was going to be about what felt like 6 months of snow. So, get your walking in while you could. And the lady across the street from us went all out with her Halloween decorations. And for some reason, you started in your own mind, it wasn't no one else's, peripheral or vision or whatever. You had a feud with this lady.
Oh, the whole street knew. No, it didn't. I just had to, I had this, never had a keeping up with the Joneses moment until that moment. Because I was like, well, we got a house. We can put up decorations like that. Or maybe even better. And so, I started trying to one up. Well, she had,
even at this time, probably thousands of dollars. That was a long time ago of decorations. It was
It
cool,
was animatronic and, back before that was even cool. The inflatables, the light up everything. And here I was with, cobwebs trying to, I'm going to decorate my porch with these cobwebs and she'll see.
We ended up with a scarecrow we made ourselves, and when we got to the end, we couldn't find a head for it that we liked, and you ended up putting Kenny Rogers' album that I had, where it had his big face on the front.
Right.
And you put it on the scarecrow.
And then I put a hat on.
And it looked awesome,
yeah.
But then one of the people that came up there got offended. I guess I'm a Kenny Rogers fan. I wasn't, no disrespect, but got offended. Didn't think that was funny. We make it Kenny Rogers.
I don't know. So we
Scarecrow in my town.
Yeah, he said something like, "Well, that's not funny."
I thought it was pretty funny.
Yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is. Oh, yeah. We had a lot of fun decorating for that because, we were on the main street and that whole town just got into every holiday. We could decorate for every holiday. I do have a memory excuse me, I do have a memory, and Tara may remember this, when she and my younger siblings had a Halloween party with like an elementary crew, and she wanted to be the Tin Man because Wizard of Oz was one of her favorite movies, and so we made her a Tin Man. But during that entire party, I was just on standby as somebody to repair her costume because it kept falling apart, because she would go and, you know, jump on trampolines and stuff, and then she'd be like, my arm is falling off, and I'd be like, come here, give me some tape, you know, I'll tape it back up, get back up there, you know. I remember that all night long. I just repaired those costumes.
I do remember one time, I guess this is probably the first year I didn't trick or treat, and I wanted to do something, and so I stayed the night at my friend Daryl's house, whose parents were having a party. And or not having a party, they were going to a party, so we were there alone. And they were going to be going all night. It was the first time either one of us had stayed at house alone. And so we did it together, and we watched the original Nightmare on Elm Street. And by the end of it, we were both sitting in the same recliner, scared to freaking death, man. We were like, my God, never again.
Yeah.
Good movie, though.
I know I've watched a bunch of scary movies with my friends on Halloween. I do remember one in particular, which was when me and my sister watched The Exorcist for the first time. And when I was talking with my mom about it, I remembered that we watched it while we were going through Halloween candy. It was on Halloween, and I guess they put it, you know, up on TV or whatever, because it was an older movie at that point. We were a little bit older. But we our
old
just
hat by then, huh?
I guess. And we were just like mouths, you know, sorting our candy at first, and then like, what's going on the screen there? And then, yeah, by the end of it, we were like, I can't eat candy at this point. I'm too disturbed. Way too disturbed.
Speaking of which, we've got an Exorcist believer, right? Review coming up for you later in this big show here. This big marathon.
Yeah.
Look, we sacrifice so you don't have to watch it. But watch our review. It's way better than the movie.
Yeah, I can't emphasize to you guys enough how much we sacrificed to watch this movie for you. So you got to see the review. It's The Exorcist Believer. We're going to be doing that here in just a little bit. But yeah, that was quite the movie review.
Look, I've got a joke for everybody.
Okay.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Oh, I was waiting for one of these people.
Oh.
No, they'll never say. Come on, who's there? Philip.
Philip who?
Fill up my damn bag, woman with candy. It's Halloween.
Okay. That's a good one.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Madam.
Madam who?
Open the door, my damn foot's stuck. I told that one in 6th grade biology, and I came that close to getting in trouble. Teacher really thought about it for a minute and let it slide. Not technically a cuss word, she said. She wanted to nab me.
Yeah. You know what I learned when I was growing up, which was true for my mom and my stepdad, a loophole was if you were singing a song and there was a curse word in it, it was okay if you sang the curse word.
Okay.
So I looked forward to those
I wonder
songs.
if that still fly with some of the songs today.
I hope not. I
Saying
don't
a lot
know.
more than dang and hell and whatnot.
Right, yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of movies, at one point we did our top 3. Got another top 3 segment for you.
Well,
Stephen King books.
Yeah.
We're going to show that. When we come back, we're going to do a live top 3 of the best 3 Stephen King film adaptations. And we want to hear your all opinions, too, so we can discuss those with you. And then also what we think is the worst one.
Mm-hmm. A
All
bonus. Right. Worst one.
So here we go. Top 3 Stephen King books. We got a new segment on here called Top 3, where we count down our top 3 of just about anything. And for this, our first episode, Top 3 Stephen King novels.
Top 3.
Hit it!
All right. I'm going to start us out with my number 3, which I feel is pretty underrated, The Dead Zone. That was actually a movie with Christopher Walken. Was it Christopher Walken?
Christopher Walken, yeah.
Back in the day. I thought I had remembered that he was in it. Movie was decent. Novel was even better. I really liked it. It was kind of a harrowing, dramatic novel. Basically, this guy gets into I believe a vehicle accident, sustains a head injury, and suddenly has the second sight. Suddenly he can see things that are coming up in the future, and it becomes pretty harrowing.
He has to touch a person or an object or whatever, and once he does, yeah, you can see the future or the past or whatnot. It's really well written, really tight. Like, this was before Stephen King's books kind of started getting bigger and bigger. Politically, I think it's relevant because it just portrays politics as like this circus, which, you know, media circus, which I guess it kind of is today.
What? It is?
Believe it or not, yeah.
Okay.
And it's just got this harrowing, well-earned ending, I think. Like, it's good.
Yeah.
Highly suggest. And there was a television series too with a guy that always played the nerds in the 80s movies, Michael Anthony Hall, right?
I had forgotten about that series.
It was kind of a procedural.
Right.
It was pretty good. It was a
Yeah.
lot, you know, it was a lot different than the book and the Christopher Walken movie, but
It's kind of, I don't know, it's a little bit removed from the book. They kind of messed with the whole, like the plot, the setup for him. But yeah, I do like the original novel, The Dead Zone.
my number 3 is Eyes of the Dragon. Came out in 1984. It's just kind of like a dark fairy tale. Man, is it just a well-told yarn.
It is definitely a nice, well, you know, nice. I'm gonna put that in quotes because, you know, there are some scary parts to it, and there's, you know, of course, good guys and bad guys. But it was really good fairy tale, which you didn't get a lot from Stephen King. I did actually read it to our girls, and they really, really liked it. They actually requested it a couple times. So we went through it. We read it a couple times to them.
It's the epitome of a page turner. I can remember reading it the first time and just could not wait to get back to it if I had to put it down to see what would happen. Yeah.
It is definitely a fairy tale. It's very fun to read, and still has some real life issues, some real life quandaries, and some scary moments.
Yeah.
And
it ties in with The Stand and the Dark Tower series, as it's got Flag in it. It's a young prince and his brother kind of tangling with him. Very good stuff. Definitely recommend.
Yeah. All right, you ready for my number 2?
Yeah.
My number 2 was, after much debate, because I've changed this back and forth several times. My number 2 was It. Everybody knows It. Big movie that came out not too long ago. It's been remade a couple of times, which I have to give a shout out to the original 80s. Was that in the 80s?
We all flew down there, Georgie.
Or the 90s when they made that It movie. I believe it was
These
the
are early 90s, maybe.
late 80s, early 90s. We'll have to look that up.
I'll Google it and put it right here with editing magic.
The immortal Tim Curry plays the clown in that, and I think the movie itself is kind of a little bit funny, but his presence in it makes it a good movie. The book itself, giant. I think at that time he had, I guess, equated number of pages with, I don't know, with I'm done with this novel, like with great, I don't know what he wanted, but he wrote and wrote and wrote this book. It's a giant book. I read it many, many times. It was dog-eared, and I remember buying several copies of it.
I think he was still on the coke.
For those of you who don't know what It is about, if you haven't seen the movie, it's about a group of kids that encounter this horrible supernatural force that lives under their town, basically, and they defeat it, and then they grow up and they find out it's come back, and they've all made this promise to go back and defeat it again if they need to. And so it's, you get their childhood, you get their adulthood, and then you kind of, you know, the book links the two times together, and you learn a lot about these people. It's a really good character study for real.
It's kind of Lovecrafty and horror mixed with a 50s drive-in horror.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very good. It's not my top 3, but it is probably my top 5. Definitely my top 10 Stephen King's. The movies, I've got mixed feelings about both. I do think the original TV miniseries is my favorite. I really like the kid version on those. I mean, come on, it's got John Boy in it.
It had John Ritter in it. Did it not?
Had all the Johns.
Had all the Johns
John Boy,
in there.
John Ritter, John Ford,
John Deere. All
Johnny
right.
Appleseed.
So what was your number 2?
Dead Zone. We've already talked about that one. So, but yeah, my number 2 is the Dead Zone. So just one higher than you, but one we both love.
Okay. Do you want to hear my number 1?
Yes, I do.
All right. This was the first book that made me cry when I read it.
Okay.
Which was kind of a revolution for me when I was younger, because I didn't know that you could get into a book that deeply, or a book could make me feel that way.
Okay.
And yeah, I remember the particular chapter that I had it's the beginning of a chapter. I'll tell you that. I'm not going to spoil this for you guys. But I remember reading this chapter and just bursting into tears. It was so devastating to me. Pet Sematary is a really well-written novel. He makes it very personal. Again, this is a really good character study, and that's what brings it home for me. You get to know these people, and you get to care about them. And so, you know, when something happens, that was my crying fit. But it's a really good movie, and I would still, or a really good book, excuse me, and I would recommend it today to somebody.
We're in agreement again. Pet Sematary is my number 1 as well. It's the scariest book I ever read. I didn't cry because I'm a man, and even as a kid I was a man. Even as a boy I was a man.
Right.
But boy, did I find it scary. My brother had probably died in a car accident not that many years before I read Pet Sematary, so I really, I guess, related to the father's grief in that, and it seemed like every dumb mistake he made is something I would have done too, trying to get his kid back, and that was the scariest part, was how logical he was making it out to be in his own head, because it was coming from his point of view. That's why I think the movies could never be as scary as the book.
No, because in the book, of course, you get his thoughts.
Yeah.
And you can't really do that in a movie without a voiceover, and I think it would take away the power. But yeah, I think it was terrifying, and I think I was so moved by it because I could see myself doing, I could see his logic. And his actions and his reasonings were so human. That's really the gut punch there.
I went and watched that original movie opening night with my friend Glenn, and I had nightmares about Zelda for a couple weeks after that. Yeah.
I finally came back for you.
There's not been that many great Stephen King movies, so it's not a perfect movie, but I love Fred Gwynn in it as Judd Crandall. I think he's great.
Yeah.
He got Oscar snub.
Oh yeah, big Oscar snub on that one.
Those are our top 3. Now, far be it from us to look down upon something beloved from our generation. What's your least favorite Stephen King novel?
Yeah, we got to give you the other side of the coin, okay? Because not every book was a winner. My least favorite of his books was called The Regulators. I don't know if you're very familiar with that.
I read it once.
I read it once, and then I put it down. The story was kind of hard to follow. I didn't really care for the characters like I did in a lot of his other novels. The basic premise is that there's a kid in this town who is dreaming up some things that begin to appear. And these people are basically, I guess, caught under the spell of this boy's dreams come to life. Seems like a fairly good premise, but it just didn't work. It just didn't work for me. Sorry, Stephen King. Sorry.
Not one of my favorites either. I can barely remember much about it, so it's pretty unmemorable, I guess, for me at least. My least favorite is going to be kind of controversial because many people's favorite, it shows up on the best of list for horror novels or Stephen King novels or whatever a lot. But it's going to be The Stand. Specifically the 1990 complete and uncut, unabridged version. We talked about The Dead Zone, how tight of a novel that was, and how perfect of an ending it is.
Right.
Stand is just the opposite. Now, I loved The Stand is 1,138 pages long. I loved 1,137 pages of that thing. Even though it did go a little rambling, there were side characters like Happy Crappy Guy that really didn't have any reason to be there that he added back in.
Right.
And
meet
whatnot.
Joe. He's getting married to
Yeah.
Debbie down there. Let's go say hi to them. Yeah.
And you do get to love a lot of these characters and get to know them. Stu and Red, or is that the same person?
I think
Redmond?
that's the same person, Stu Redmond.
Yeah, and Molly Ringwald.
Molly
whatnot.
Ringwald was there.
And then at the end, when everything looks lost for our heroes, they're all tied up with the bad guys, they're going to die. The hand of God, literally the hand of God comes down and fixes it and saves them. It's the Deus Ex Machina brought to life in the modern day. I was so mad. I'd spent weeks reading through that book.
Yeah.
Half a year.
I can see what you're saying because for such a long, involved novel that pulled us into everybody's lives from Stu to Debbie and Joe, like, it was kind of a pat ending.
Why didn't God just do that in the first place?
It was just kind of a pat, there we go.
It seemed like to me he wrote himself in the corner a little bit, but I don't know.
I don't know, but the ending struggled a little bit. But, one of the few reasons that is probably one of my top 10, maybe?
I do also love it.
I'd say 10. And the reason it makes my top 10 list, even with such a bad ending, is the beginning. The bulk of that book is so good.
It's got some of his best characters, too, I think.
Yeah. And again, characters that you care about.
None of their actions matter. Nothing of what they did was of consequence.
Right. And that's
Just saying.
That's the problem is that, they did all these really cool things. And then in the end, like I said, Stephen King just came along and fixed it for everybody. And all their effort was for kind of, not for naught, but it didn't contribute to a climactic ending for sure. It was very anticlimactic. Yeah.
All right. Well, let us know your favorite and least favorite Stephen King novels in the comments. Please hit like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. I'm Dan.
I'm Marge.
We're the Gen-Xers. Peace out. All right. We are back.
How'd you like that Zelda scare at the end there, Kara?
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Did you?
We just can't seem to get together on our costumes, but I love your costume.
Well, I'm just me, except with a mohawk, like back in my punk rock days.
Oh,
Early.
okay. Yeah.
Later 70s. I was in a punk rock band.
Yeah.
That was after we filmed that documentary we're going to show later if we get 10 subscribers. Now we're going to have to get 11 subscribers to make up for it, to show that squumpa-lump.
Well, okay, but do we, though? Like, couldn't we just say if we got 10, including that one back? No, it has to be 10 beyond the...
We're Gen-Xers.
I'm just trying to get it any way we can now.
Hey, there's a like and subscribe cat back there.
Oh, yeah. Right back there.
Make sure to do it, folks.
No, so there was your controversial... I'm going to take this off because I think it's going to fall off anyway. Your controversial pick, which was The Stand. That was...
One of them that I can't remember. Yeah, I said I'd like to Stand. I loved everything about The Stand until I got to the very end.
Yeah, I did too.
Absolutely loved it. Yeah.
And then our viewers here shared a couple. I know Tara was talking about how Zelda scared the crap out of her. I was trying to catch a glimpse.
Tara said her top 3 books would be Christine, Pet Cemetery. Still scariest book I ever read, yeah.
And the most emotional. That
movies,
one was just really emotional.
Well, I guess the movie, because she also says It, the original, Tim Curry. And I agree. There's stuff I like about the remake, but overall I like the original better, especially, I think, with the kids or whatever.
Yeah.
And John Boy. You can't beat John Boy.
Right. And John Ritter was in that one.
All the Johns were in it. Johnny Lawrence.
Yeah. They were all in there, and they did fantastic. So let's talk about, we talked about the top 3 Stephen King books. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about his films.
Sure.
Because,
I found out today, I think, when I was kind of looking some of these up, he's had 68, maybe books and short stories and whatnot turned into films?
That's what I was going to say. He seems to get a lot of his books and short stories turned into films. And there's one coming out pretty soon that's based on a short story of his called The Long Walk, which is a pretty devastating short story.
That movie's gotten some good reviews. Yeah.
Has it? So I can imagine that movie's probably, I mean, if they hew to the book at all, hopefully, it's just a really devastating social, I don't know. It's just a really devastating book. I would totally recommend reading the book.
And
Don't
then-
know about the movie yet, but
Then they're coming out with a new version of The Running Man, I guess, as well.
that too. And they're kind of similar in the dystopian world they present. So
That's true.
I don't know. But let's talk about the films that we think have been underrated gems.
Well, yeah. I wanted to ask these folks real quick since, I know Tara's younger than us. I don't know about the rest of them. When we were growing up, Stephen King was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Is he still, like, amongst young people? Like, when I was in 7th and 9th grade, a new Stephen King book came out. Anyone who read anything at all, or even people who didn't, were reading it. I mean, it was just kind of a popular thing to do. It was always number one. Maybe it was a little bit subversive back then.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be now, but just
Well-
wondering, is he still the hot stuff or old hat? I don't know.
Yeah, I remember specifically going to the library, back when those were big things. I'm sure they're still big things.
Yeah, for our
but-
generation, he's huge.
I mean, but that's where I didn't have money to go out and buy every Stephen King novel, so I'd go to my school library and it would be out for weeks and weeks. You'd have to write down your name and go, I hope I get Pet Cemetery or whatever it was.
I've talked a lot on here about all the stuff I didn't have and how poor I was, and you'll bring up your Hungry Jacks and having food and whatnot.
Right.
Anytime I wanted a book, my mom found a way to get it for me, so I got all the Stephen King ones pretty much. So.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, in paperback, not in hardback.
Well, no,
But-
no. Who could afford hardback?
Yeah.
Who could afford hardback?
And then later on, when we first got married, I got a job in a bookstore, and so I'd get 25% off. That was pretty nice.
Do you remember? I just have to share this one memory, talking about how poor we were, and you working at the bookstore. And one of my favorite memories is when our oldest, you had brought home, because you could get borrowed books from the bookstore, and you borrowed a Stephen King book when it first came out.
Yeah.
And I think it was, I don't remember what it was, Dreamcatcher, one of those newer,
It was a big one, yeah.
yeah, it was one of the newer ones. Like, he hadn't written in a while, and then he came out with this book. So we borrowed it from the bookstore, which they allowed him to do, brought it home. We were so anxious to read it because we couldn't purchase it. And our daughter drew giant letters on the front of it. And I remember you coming home and seeing the letters, and it was like a letter I or something. And you were like, that's a good letter I. Like, I can't really say anything about it. She did a great letter I. So yeah, that was a memory. But I remember it was a Stephen King book.
Yeah.
And it's forever ours now. So thank you.
It's still somewhere around here. Maybe on the break I'll see if I can find it.
We wanted it anyway, so it's okay.
All right, top 3 Stephen King films. And we want to hear yours too out there.
Can I start with mine?
Start us
my
out,
number
Mama.
3. Again, with the top 3, we go from, our number 3 to our number 1, number 1 being the best. So my number 3 is The Shining.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I can see it.
Stanley Kubrick was just such a great director. But I know that that Stephen King himself has said it's not the same as the book. And he argued a lot about that screenplay, because it's not.
Well, yeah, he put out his own miniseries, not his own, but a miniseries version that he put his stamp on. Not as good, really.
No.
But, it does adhere to the book more, and it's not bad, but...
Right.
I mean, The Shining is kind of a masterpiece artistically. I do agree with Stephen King that the movie lacks warmth.
It does.
And one thing I like about the book is that the dad has a little bit more humanity, and in the movie he has pretty much zero.
He has a lot more humanity in the book, and the relationship between him and his family is set up better.
Yeah.
And you see that he's this caring man. He's troubled, and that comes into play later on, but he is caring, and he's trying to do good, and so you really get a sense for him and his family in the book. So yeah, I totally see. And the ending wasn't quite the same as it was in the book also. I mean, and the middle part too as well. So I see, I see the problems, the issues there.
I think everything that King was trying to do, none of that was in the movie. Yeah, the idea of this father slowly losing it from pressure, but getting some kind of redemption arc and nothing.
No, but Stanley Kubrick made it such a great film. There's enough in there that you recognize it as a Stephen King story.
There are a million conspiracy theories about that movie. I don't know if you've ever watched it. Didn't we watch that documentary about it, Room 227 or something?
No, you're thinking of the TV show 227.
Oh, I love 227.
No, it's Room 218, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
Is it 218?
Tara. Was it Jack A in there or something?
Tara, for goodness sake. Mary, I think it's 218.
I've always loved your Jack A.
It's so goofy.
Go on, give us a subscribe for that Jack A.
Come on now. We gotta gain that one back.
Chris has a movie about being snowed in like warmth. Well, yeah. Look, I don't like the cold weather, and we did live in Michigan for a while, like we said. I could see it. See getting a little stir crazy up there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, not that much. But.
Absolutely. Okay, so what was your number 3? My number 3 was The Shining.
My number 3 probably not typical. It's not the greatest made Stephen King adaptation, but I do love it. And to one Tara mentioned, Pet Sematary. I love the book, so I went and saw the movie opening night, I think, with my friend Glenn, and really thought it was good. Some of the acting's flat, like the mom and the lady who's on the dad and the lady who's on Star Trek. For some reason, their acting is like they took a half a bottle of Valium before this thing ever started.
Yeah.
But Fred Gwynn as Judd Crandall, that's my Judd Crandall, man. He was excellent in it. Should have got an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor if you ask me.
Right.
And still, just the bones of the story is so good. And Zelda, Chris mentioned on here, one of our viewers, that Zelda was played by a man, Andrew Hubasek, he said. I didn't know the name, but scared me. I had and I was 16 years old. I had a nightmare, I think, that night of Zelda coming to get me.
Yeah, Zelda was terrifying. And yeah, Fred Gwynn brings it home. Absolutely. He's the greatest in that movie.
Yeah, you just would love for him to be your wise old neighbor up until the time he shows you the Pet Cemetery, probably.
Right,
at
and
least,
then like, Fred, what are you doing? But yeah, he did a great job in that movie.
So many good lines. Christ on his throne, no, and whoever would.
Whoever would, Judd. All right, my number 2 was Carrie. And I'll give you 3 reasons why. Sissy frickin' Spacek. Like, this lady is a powerhouse, and she was a powerhouse when she was a young lady in this movie. And her performance is everything. And I do have to say, the lady who plays her mother, and I know her name, so don't tell me. I'm going to think about it, but it's some odd... Anyway, the lady who plays her mother, who in the Carrie novel and in the Carrie movie, which the movie is pretty close to the book, I think. I thought they made it pretty close to the book.
Got Vinnie Barbarino in it.
Got John Travolta in it. But the lady who plays Carrie's religious zealot mother does an excellent job, and she brings it home in that movie, along with Sissy Spacek. Like, you're just going to get an excellent movie, whether you like horror movies or not. It's just a good movie.
Excellent movie, really well directed. Yeah, I think a lot of people seem to think that's the best adaptation, either that or The Shining. I think it really is good.
Amy
and for all the
Irving.
reasons you just said. Oh, was that the mom's name?
No, Amy Irving was in there, though, too, and she's a really good actress as well. I'm going to think of her name. I'm going to think of it any time. It's an unusual name, like Tuesday or something. I don't know. It's some weird name.
Horror movies were so good in the 70s. I mean, there were a lot of clunkers, too, but like psychologically, you just spent so much time getting to know the characters with a lot of the great ones, like Carrie, too. Like, you end up caring about her by the time, she flips out.
And in ways, too, I don't know, kind of her mom in a way. It's just really, and, I don't know, you feel for a lot of people. You can see a lot of different angles from that movie. And it winds up being a drama as well. So, yeah, that was my number 2. Top that.
237 is the room with that documentary of
Then I said 218.
people are pointing out picking apart the coffee cans and saying that means something. People say that it's has something to do with he really filmed the moon landing, and somehow The Shining is admitting that to us secretly if you decode it correctly.
Of course.
Hey, man.
We need to get Nick Cage on that.
I used to think
immediately.
everything was weird till I got to this age and lived in this day and age. I used to think that kind of stuff was weird. Now I don't. Nothing surprises me. Man.
Now we're like, what? We're gonna get Nick Cage on that immediately.
My number 2. By the way, if anyone ever plays the Gen-Xers in a movie, Nick Cage is who I want to play me. He could do young, he could do old, he can do an accent, he can do up here, or he can do down here.
Can bring it on like this.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a good choice. I don't know who would play me. I'd have to
Nick
think about
Cage.
Nick Cage.
Everybody.
Yeah, of course.
Am I at my number 2?
What is your number 2?
I'm already getting slap happy. This is 3-4 hours past my bedtime.
We're at 4:32 p.m. No, we're at what time?
Oh,
are
it's
we?
11:11.
11:11. That's kind of a magical number.
Yeah.
Your number 2, you haven't shared it.
Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
I really wanted to pick a scary one because it's Stephen King, and there are a lot of his scary ones I do like the Stand miniseries. I do like that. Again, same problem with the ending.
That was a good one.
But Shawshank is just so good. The acting is great. The story is great. The narration is great.
Yeah.
It's just sweet, uplifting kind of film. Yeah.
That one almost exactly adheres to the book.
It's really close.
I like it. Really just goes through every plot point. I can't think of many parts where it really deviated.
When he writes, and he doesn't do it a lot, when he writes books that aren't what you'd consider traditional horror, though there are often darker elements to them, they're really good. They're sometimes a lot better than his scarier ones. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. My number 1 is so emotionally devastating, and it is a horror movie, but it is also very much a drama, and it tore me apart. Was The Mist. Do you remember that one?
I do. We watched it together. I remember reading the story, and not as, yeah.
The story ends a bit more hopefully than the movie does, and I will not spoil that ending for you because it was one of the biggest twists I've ever seen. And I was silent for about 2 hours after that film, processing the information that I just received.
Just that ending, yeah. That's how I feel about Pet Sematary too. Not to go back to it, but I am. Emotionally, yeah, it was one that stuck with me for a long time. The movie too, because like I said in the book review, I think everything that Dad does seemed illogical to me for someone who's grieving. And like I said, when I read the book, it hadn't been that long since my brother passed. So I knew a lot about grieving at the time. But yeah, it all seemed logical, and that's what was scary. That every mistake he made, from the outside you could see it, but you could see in his mind, no, of course this is going to work.
Well, and this was a logical man, too. It was a
Yeah.
doctor going
Yeah.
into this, and you expected him to make logical choices.
And that scene where Gage is running toward the highway, I knew what was coming, and it delivers. It's disturbing.
Yeah. Hello to Nifty.
Hey, Nifty! And
And-
hello, Awaken!
Yes. Happy Halloween.
Hey, don't be sorry you're late. We're glad you're here.
Yeah. We've only just begun. What are you talking about?
Chris says there's some dark Shining theories out there. I'm going to look into that because it's been a long time since I've seen that documentary, and I like a good conspiracy theory.
I know there was something about the Calumet baking powder cans. The Calumet baking powder cans. And they had like a picture of a Native American on the side of them. And there was something about that part of the conspiracy. But yeah, I'm going to have to rewatch that movie, which is not called Room 227 or Room 218. It's actually Room 237. Both got it wrong. But, okay, so yeah.
Is it your turn? Oh, you did your number one?
I did my number 1, which is The Mist, which is devastating.
It is, and also just scary. I mean, it's kind of old-fashioned monster movie in a way, but with a twist that, yeah, we won't give away that ending.
Yeah.
My number one, again, wanted to do something scary. Salem's Lot, maybe, or which was what my dad thought was the scariest movie.
It's a good one.
Do you know the same guy directed Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Toby Hooper, I believe.
Toby Hooper?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, not any of the sequels. That one is also
Yeah, that
well
one's-
directed. I don't know if you want to watch it more than once.
I didn't. So.
But again, I had to go with my heart. I couldn't do another horror one because this movie to me is perfect. I watched it so many times as a teenager. Stand By Me. There's nothing I can think about that movie that I don't like. It's so quotable. It's got the dog with the sick balls moment.
Yeah.
It's got the guy with the pie eating contest. It's got you can blank you dime store hood.
Yeah.
It's got every moment you can imagine.
It's got one of
there.
the Coreys, even.
Yeah.
It's
in one of his
got
best roles. He's good in that.
those kids, because the movie is acted out by kids. It's, the whole movie is about these four kids, and this one kid in particular. They were just amazing, every single one. Even the bullies.
Kiefer Sutherland,
Kiefer Sutherland
right? Yeah,
was
one
the
of his-
main bully, and then you had River
Ace.
Phoenix, you had Corey Feldman,
Both
you
great.
had Jerry Connolly,
Mhm.
and you had
Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton. Yes, I couldn't think of his name. Amongst others, just the whole cast was stellar.
And again, I really related to that one. I'm not trying to be a downer or keep bringing this up, but I guess it probably was a big part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
The main character in that story, his brother had recently died. John Cusack, also another big one in it.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to be a writer, both things I wanted to be, so I related to that one a lot, I guess. But it's just, yeah, it still holds up.
It's such a great movie, and it's so sweet in moments, and so tender in moments, and so sad in others. But really, it's a good movie, and I would totally recommend it if you have not seen it.
It's one of those rare movies about kids or teenagers or whatever. And I think I remember Stephen King saying he really wanted to get this right. Where it actually really does seem like kids or teenagers and not like adults pandering, right? It seems like a real group of friends.
Talking to our friends out there and thinking about when our kids were young, would you tell parents, like, yeah, I think your kids could watch this?
I mean, it would depend on the kid, but I think 13 and up, certainly for most kids, I think it would be fine.
Yeah, I think so too.
I
think
mean, I
it
was
would be-
much younger when I was 8 when I watched The Exorcist, so I'm not one to
Yeah.
whatever. But
Yeah, I don't know how old I was, but I know I was horrified.
hey there, Maddie.
Hello,
Glad
hello.
to see you here too.
Yeah.
All right. We're getting someplace now, folks. Make sure to hit that old like and subscribe button. What's your worst one?
My worst Stephen King adaptation, without a doubt, hands down, would be The Langoliers,
Mr. Toomey.
which was also not a great story to begin with. Like, I don't know why they churned this thing out.
What was going on there? Every time you got onto a plane, the time eaters were eating the timeline, and somehow
Sure.
they got ahead of the plane. I don't know.
Sure,
If you gotta
whatever.
go through that much trouble explaining it.
Yeah, whatever you say. Because the movie was pretty unintelligible, and it was just ridiculous, and the acting was way bad.
The bad guy was the main comedy relief in Perfect Strangers, right? Mr. Toomey.
Yeah.
He played the villain. He starts going more and more insane because I guess he sees, I can't even remember. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, basically the premise is that it's a group of people, they're flying in a plane. They're on a flight. Everybody falls asleep, I guess. And when they wake up, half of them are gone or more. And then they land the plane and like all the world is gone as well. And then it just goes from there and it rolls into some weird time nonsense, and I don't even know. But at one point they use the trope where like one of the passengers on the plane is a girl who is blind, and then she has mystical powers.
Stephen
I
King
guess.
uses that one a lot. Someone with,
Come on
whatever,
now.
yeah. I know when I got diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, my psychic abilities were immediately kicked up a little bit.
Did you get the shinning?
I did.
Is it growing?
It's-
As your RA progresses, does it grow?
I would say, oh yeah, Bronson Pinchot. That's who was on the Langoliers.
Yeah. Yeah. Horrid film. Thank you.
Awaken
We
D
agree.
Reflection says, "Hey, heck, my mama made me watch Last Time on the Left, but I was way too young. I don't know if I've seen it. If I have, I'll remember. I remember my aunt talking about having gone to the drive-in and seen it, and it scaring her to death.
I don't think I've ever seen that one either. But from what I understand, that was like more of a slasher. I think that was like a more of a slasher type film.
I bet that's on Tubi. We should check it out.
Maybe, yeah.
All right, yeah, that'd probably be my number one worst one too. Although honorable mention goes to the Dark Tower adaptation. I love that series. I'm a big fan of it. I keep hoping someone does it right. It would be perfect for the streaming world. But someone tried to do it in a movie with, who's the guy that rides around in a Lincoln car? Talk about philosophy.
Matthew McConaughey?
Yeah, he was the bad guy, Flag. All right.
Right.
And then somebody else was somebody else, and whatever.
Idris
Doesn't
Elba
matter.
was supposed to be the gunslinger.
He could have been a fine gunslinger in a movie that actually had anything to do with those books. We have had this conversation with your brother and with the people in our World of Warcraft guild a million times, but I don't know why people or writers want to take an IP that could be worth so much money that already has a huge fan base and just totally deconstruct and change everything about it. And I understand wanting to put your own spin on it, but it gets to a point, just write your own story if you're changing that much.
Right.
I mean, I don't know.
And we've seen plenty, and we've had plenty of reviews on here, and if you haven't seen them, you should go see them. And if you haven't subscribed yet, that's why we're here. So get on there and subscribe.
Yeah,
but
we filled out the subscriber board once.
yeah, we've lost one.
We started out with 2,687, and so far -1.
It's not a great start, okay? But we're carrying on like we do.
Happy Halloween, Rev J Bird.
Yes. Happy Halloween, guys.
But yeah, so that definitely would be my my runner-up. All right, we've got. Earlier today we were trying to run down this as fast as we could because we didn't have a lot of time, and I really put a lot of thought in how to transition at this point. And I think I finally said, you know what? I'm just going to tell them I can't do it. I
That's
got
right,
a
it's a
transition
transition.
here. We're just going to make a hard cut right into a little urban legend from back when we were young. We did a little mini essay on it. It's only like 4 minutes long. We're going to play that. And then we're going to come back and talk about some of the urban legends and stuff like that spread around our schools. Mm-hmm. You're going to summon Bloody Mary live on national television.
Right.
I don't know, your own sisters warned you against it, but
What could go
you
wrong?
don't listen to me. You
Yeah.
don't listen to nobody.
Nope.
So yeah, we'll be right back. Let's check out this little urban legend from back in the day.
Yep. The president of the company admitted it live on national television on Phil Donahue. Phil freaking Donahue. Procter & Gamble supported the Church of Satan, and their logo proved it. I was in 5th grade, and everyone on the playground was talking about it. My parents were talking about it. The guy on the news was talking about it. The problem was, it never happened. With movies like The Omen, The Exorcist, and Rosemary's Baby, Charles Manson and his cronies, Watergate, its overuse of recreational drugs, the 70s had really set the 80s up to become a breeding ground for conspiracy theories. Indeed, urban legends ran rampant throughout my childhood. One of the most bizarre theories involved the logo of Procter & Gamble, one of the biggest companies in the world. The logo featured a man in the moon with 13 stars surrounding it. Harmless, right? Well, Not according to some. In the early 80s, rumors began to spread on the West Coast that the logo was actually a satanic symbol. Someone in California began distributing leaflets addressed to all Christians with the Phil Donahue rumor. The 13 stars were said to represent the 13 members of a witch's coven, or the 13 acolytes of the devil, or 13 something or other. And the curls in the man's beard on the Procter & Gamble logo were supposedly forming a hidden 666, the number of the beast. I can still remember my brother going to get a bottle of shampoo out of the bathroom and showing it to us. A shiver ran down my spine. Of course, I was just a kid and I believed everything. So where did Procter & Gamble's logo actually come from? It actually was developed by wharf hands to mark candle crate boxes. Later, Procter & Gamble decided to formalize it and created the graphic of 13 stars for the 13 original American colonies. It was officially trademarked in 1882, but the form of the logo that sparked all the rumors was created in the 1930s. Despite the company's efforts to dispel the rumors regarding Satanism, the panic persisted. By the 1980s, Procter & Gamble was receiving thousands of calls and letters from concerned customers. The company even went so far as to sue several organizations and individuals for spreading false information. In 1991, the company removed the man in the moon's curls and cut out most of the art altogether. And this is where it gets really interesting. In 1995, Procter & Gamble took legal action against Amway distributors, whom they alleged revived the satanic rumors, using a voicemail system to tell thousands of customers that part of Procter & Gamble profits went to satanic cults. The case was a landmark moment, highlighting how far the company was willing to go to protect its image and set the record straight. In 2007, Procter & Gamble won the $19 million lawsuit. It might seem like overkill, especially considering Procter & Gamble has also went after individuals for spreading this rumor. As Kate Macklid, spokesperson for Amway at the time, said, despite the public apology, P&G has spent 12 years destroying these people's lives. P&G is a $68 billion company. What they got out of this case was what they could earn in about 2.5 hours. We think that's shameful. It's highly doubtful that Procter & Gamble has anything to do with the Church of Satan, especially considering that the Church of Satan themselves won't claim them, given that multi-billion-dollar corporations are too evil. Hello.
All right. Creepy stuff. I don't know if I believe it or not. Boy, my hair is crazy.
Mine is too. We keep, putting on wigs and taking them off, and it's okay. It's Halloween. We're supposed to look scary, right?
Do you remember that friend we had that that married the ghost?
No.
Don't know what possessed her.
Oh.
Did you hear about the guy that got his whole left side chopped off?
No.
He's all right now.
The other day, I went to my psychiatrist and told her that I was like hearing voices and seeing ghosts and stuff.
What'd they say?
She said I didn't have a psychiatrist.
We do, folks on chat there are talking about some gate stories. We do have some gate viewer stories coming up a little later, and next month we've got a new gate deep dive for you all. And also I've been keeping up with those old Gateway tapes. I've got a report on those too. I've seen in these different focuses or meditations you do, like I've had some pretty clear scenes come to mind. I don't know if it's just, my mind doing whatever it does, but one of them, I was walking through a very walking through a garden, saw a covered bridge. I saw one, Margie, and this is a focus 15 or 21 or something. Wow. Whatever. I mean, if you guys don't know the focuses, but I was sitting right here, and then I just had this vision of this person, about that tall, standing on that shelf back there looking over me, dressed like Peter Pan, but they had no face. And I had another, look, I mean, most people would stop then, not me. I had another one where this guy was sitting on the front of an old saloon steps, like Old West. And he had a plaid jacket on, sheriff badge, and then a black cloth mask pulled over his head and tied with some holes cut in it. They say that if you're going to get any kind of message from another ghost or whatever it is, it's going to come in images and not words or whatever. Well, I don't know what that's supposed to mean if those are my images. Like the garden and stuff, sure. Those other two, I don't know.
Well, what does the garden stuff mean?
I mean, I just walking through a pretty garden. It was very peaceful. I enjoyed. That was a good one.
Okay. I mean, does it tell you that, like, you should do something in the future,
No,
like
it was
garden-like?
No, it's just like being there.
Okay.
It was like remote viewing or something, or again, just random. I don't know. I try not to label things until I know for sure what's going on.
Well, your stuff has intrigued me to maybe pick up Focus again and see if I can do some more of the Gateway tapes. I liked them. They had those binaural beats, and it was really easy to like meditate with them. So I'll pick them up again because I was at 10. I wasn't at 237, which was where you were at. Focus 237.
Well,
Oh, sorry.
there's also one of those I think where it says in the manual or whatever, you might come across people who are sleeping or who are in this state from psychedelics or something who don't know they're there. And I have seen random faces in there. And then one, I saw a guy sitting in a hospital emergency room, maybe.
Oh no.
Look, I don't know. This stuff is not my typical thing. I'm just reporting what's happening. Rev Jaybird says, I get the heebie-jeebies just listening to the parts of those tapes on YouTube. I can't listen to them. A lot of people react to them that way. There seems to be a debate. A lot of people love them. A lot of people don't. From what I'm finding, sometimes the divide is, if you were kind of forced to listen to them in Gate, you probably don't have a good reaction to them. If you came across them on your own, it may be a little bit different. I don't know. Awaken Reflection said, Shadow People, Hatman, yep, and Tara said, Shadow People don't play. I'm going to do a video on those Shadow People one of these days.
Yeah. So yeah, when we were talking about, we had the clip on Procter & Gamble, which I remember doing that clip. That's an older clip of ours. And it kind of takes us directly to the satanic panic of the 80s, which was when we grew up trick-or-treating, and which affected me. Like, I don't know if it affected you at all.
It did. I remember, if you're in the 80s, you probably remember some of this. And that opening, cold open, I had even a few parts from some old things in there. It did in a ways. I mean, there were the stories around here. Like when I watched The Exorcist, there was this rumor going around school that you would die exactly 7 years later. I didn't. I'm still here as far as I know.
Right.
But that was one thing. A rumor that they'd found a pentagram in one of the close towns close to here. The biggest one was, and we did a video on this, you read it from your point of view, but it was really my story, I guess. My mom almost didn't let me play Dungeons & Dragons because of the Satanic Panic. That movie came out with Tom Hanks, Monsters and Mazes or whatever. So I had to really do a lot of finagling to get to play some D&D, but yeah.
But she finally let you do it?
Yeah.
Well, I remember, for me, I do remember the Geraldo Rivera show. I know that was at the peak. I
We
think
went
it was
to
like
Satan's tomb?
no, he looked in
Or
Satan's
vault or whatever.
He looked in Satan's vault. That's what happened, but there was nothing in there.
Yeah.
No, this was at the height. So this was like 88, 87 or 88 when he did his show. But before then, we had all this buildup. We had all these reports of like, oh, the preschools are, blah, 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 whatever, doing these rituals with the kids. And like, it was kind of madness. And the media really fanned the flames. But, in the Midwest, in the more rural areas, we didn't really see a whole lot. But there was definitely rumors like pentagram. Oh, don't go under that bridge, Satanists go under there. And like, you would think that we were just walking down the street and like, oh, sorry, and would bump into Satanists all the time back in the day, but That wasn't true.
Well, I do remember a lot of it at church and church camp. Around toys, cartoons, and especially music. There was this guy, David Muncie, I think, and he had a bunch of video, or like cassette tapes you could buy. He'd travel around to churches, but a lot of churches would just buy these cassette tapes. You could play them. And he was against the Masters of the Universe. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. He'd say, there's only one Master of the Universe. Don't be watching that, kids. I love Masters of the Universe. This guy making me feel guilty. The Smurfs. Kiss was supposedly stood for Knights in Satan's Service. And I remember the lady at church camp playing, I don't know, some Led Zeppelin backwards or whatever. Queen playing that backwards, supposed to smoke marijuana. I don't know what that has to do with this devil. Devil's lettuce, maybe. But anyway, so at that time, I was getting into rap. And I like Run DMC and, Cool Mo D, and not like the gangster rap stuff wasn't even around yet. And I was like, what about rap? I don't even think this lady had ever heard of rap. She said, rat! I heard some bad things about them, too.
She wasn't wrong.
Round and round.
Round and round. No, she wasn't wrong. But I think that meant rap was okay then, right? You were free and clear.
Listen to it, yeah.
There you go. You found your loophole. But yeah, we didn't get, we got a bit of that in church, but it was mostly, I remember, from the media, and like parents and the rumor mill, and the rumor mill at school was a big one.
Rev Jaybird says we ran across random stuff in the woods, but it's probably just other teenagers being edgy. We had some of that too. Did you ever have any of those edgy,
Yeah, where you'd come across and be like, what? Here's a pentagram, but also a Playboy. What? And an old pack of cigarettes.
Well, we had a girl that would wear all black and sit in the corner of the room and read witchcraft books all the time.
Yeah.
So stuff like that. I don't think she was a real witch. I think she just liked to read.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was gonna say the thing where we really started checking candy really became a thing when we were young. Like, I remember a time before that happened when we didn't worry about what was in our candy.
Every Halloween it seemed like, yeah.
And then every Halloween after about, I would say like 10, 11 was when the satanic, maybe 11, 12, 13. I remember being more of a teen, just a teen at that time before that really started to take hold. But once it did, it grew every year. It was like, oh my gosh, that has razors in it,
Yeah, I remember it happening one year. There being a news story about razors and candy, which, by the way, I think I looked this up one time. No one's ever found a razor or a needle or anything else in candy or drugs. No druggies giving away their hard-earned drugs. That's not my joke. I think some comedians made that joke before.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was scary. Like, even when we were adults and our kids were young, the local hospital was still x-raying people's candy.
And they still do.
As a taxpayer. Right off right there.
I think they still do. A lot of them do like images or will, whatever, check them for you in some way. And I can't vouch for today's world, but I know back in our day, like, we never found anything to substantiate these claims. It just irritated us during Halloween when we wanted to get to the eating, and Mom was checking out, seeing if there were razor blades and whatnot in there. Totally inconvenient. Let us eat the pixie sticks, will ya?
Well, we did have some real scary event happen this month.
Yeah.
Send you into a panic. We watched The Exorcist, and we did a review on that. We had an interview with your mom. I highly recommend going to watch that. Her mom has a true scary story about that room that The Exorcist took place, the exorcism that The Exorcist movie was based on took place in. She got to see that. A priest showed it to her who was actually present at the thing. It's up on our page. Go watch it. But then we watched. You take over.
I don't know if I can, Dan. I don't know if I can get through this segment. I don't want to... I just want to emphasize to you guys the sacrifices that we've made, okay? To watch this movie. Don't discount them. Don't watch this movie on your own. Grab a friend if you must. It's you're just gonna have to watch the review. I think they should just watch the review.
Yeah, it's much better than the actual movie. So here you go. We'll be back alive here in just a bit.
My lord.
We're here to talk about Exorcist Believer, if you can believe that. I know it came out over a year ago, but we just saw it and it was so bad we had to do a review. It is the worst horror film I've ever seen.
I second that notion. This deserves a deep conversation.
It's the second worst film I've ever seen. The first worst is The Piano. I just want to lie with you.
I want to lie together without clothes on.
If you can live with that, welcome to this review. So I guess this is an official continuation of the Exorcist franchise. Universal Pictures paid $400 million for the rights. Immediately handed over to Danny McBride and the guys who made that movie where they all go to North Korea with Franco.
What?
And Pineapple Express. They also made that one. I was surprised when I found out that Danny McBride made that there weren't more flaccid penises in it. All right. I had a joke here, and I couldn't think of a punchline. So I'm going to say it, and I'm going to let these guys come up with the punchline. Put it in the comments. Trying to get Hollywood to make a movie about God is kind of like asking blank to blank.
It's the match game.
So it's like the match game. Put them in the comments below, and we'll talk about the best ones next week, maybe.
Okay, could we repeat that question again?
Trying to get Hollywood to make a real movie about God is kind of like asking blank to blank. So this starts out with this guy named Victor Fleming, and he's in Haiti with his wife. Big earthquake, she's pregnant, right? Well, no, it starts out she's getting some kind of ritual, right? They're giving her a cleansing voodoo ritual or something.
They never specify, or do they? Do they specify later?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they specify what kind of ritual it is, but they're doing some kind of purification, protection ritual for this baby. I don't know how good it works, because immediately after that, there's a huge earthquake.
Yeah.
And the wife gets hurt, rushed to the hospital where the doctors say, Marge, if you could believe this, we can only save one. The wife or your unborn child.
Would a doctor ever actually say that? If you're a doctor
Only
and
in
you're watching
Hollywood.
this show, can you please answer that question? Is that a real question that people get asked? Do people get put on this? Anywho.
I'm sure it's happened, but not as much as it happens in Hollywood.
Right. In this very movie.
Yeah. So we've already started out the cliche there. And we flash forward 13 years later, and there's the dude with his daughter. No wife to be seen.
Nope.
How'd you feel about that?
Well, I mean, just resigned, I guess. I mean, we were given a
That's a wife.
50-50, no matter who it was, right?
Yeah.
So I was just waiting to see who got it. I don't know. That sounds so
Now,
what?
it may not seem like much has happened, but there's already been 13 jump scares in this first 5 minutes, probably. Not of actual scary stuff, but just a cut to somebody jackhammering the sidewalk. A cut to something falling off a shelf.
There are so many cheap, silly cut takes and quick shots and flashes and music, and there were so many cuts and whatnot that I felt like I was in a Rocky training montage the entire movie. So it was.
Oh, this was edited nowhere nearly as well as a Rocky edited training montage.
No, not at all.
I mean,
Not at all.
if someone who's done as little editing as I have done can notice how bad the editing job is in this thing, you know it's bad. I mean, it was. Anyway. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, 13 years later. So this little girl and her best friend, Catherine West. Some of the names sometimes seem to mean something, sometimes they don't. So that's why I'm trying to point them out here. Like the one girl's name is Angela, like Angel, I guess.
Well, isn't Victor Fleming? Isn't that like
It sounds like somebody.
Doctor? It's a horror novel. It's like a Victor Frank.
Fleming is a thing.
Right. And Victor is indeed a name. So, right there.
Victor Von Doom.
Victor
Frankenstein.
Yeah, Victor Frankenstein. But I think isn't there a Victor Fleming in horror? literature?
I don't. There's a Fleming in literature that I know.
We're drawing way too much from this plot, I'll tell you that right now, because I know this crew did not dive deep for these materials.
Well, this girl, Angela, her best friend is a Baptist. And they decide they're going to go. Look, that comes. You would think that wouldn't come in to be important, but it does. That she's a Baptist.
So what's Angela again?
Angela is a hoodoo lady.
And then her friend is a Baptist?
Yeah.
Do they walk into a bar?
They walk into the woods and they attempt to contact Angela's dead mother via seance.
Okay.
Ooh.
They're asking for troubles right there. Duh.
Imagine this seance. Cut. Some spooky, blurry image. Cut. Sound of a tree rustling.
Cut. Somebody would do that. Cut. Woo.
Well, they're going to reshoot this film.
Jackhammer.
Cut. Phone ringing.
That was the entire movie. That was all the cuts in the movie, just over and over again in every scene.
The girls go missing for 3 days. Anytime a screenwriter wants to know, they act like they know something about the Bible, they put 3 days in there. Something happens in 3 days. It's like all they ever heard about is Jesus came back in 3 days.
Right.
All right.
Right, yeah. No, that's true.
On the third day, the girl...
Like they do. Like all biblical things do. On the third day, what happened to
The
him?
girls are...
These girls.
On the third day, the girls are found in a barn with burns on their feet and all dirty and stuff.
Right.
So they take them to the hospital / police station / school. At some point in this movie, they keep going back and forth between the school, the hospital, and the police station. I think every single building looks exactly the same. The lighting's the same. The background extras, I believe, are the same. But they're just supposed to believe us now. This is the police station. Okay, now we're at the hospital.
I feel like all of that budget was spent on the $400 million buying the rights for The Exorcist. Put the name on there.
Here's a warehouse. Make it work.
Right. Here's a warehouse and some cardboard.
Anyway, those girls, like, they're in shock and whatnot. The doctors look at them for about 5 minutes to say, well, there ain't nothing we can do about you. Get your burnt feet and trauma self on home. And I think you said they must have you and more.
Right.
Same insurance we got.
Yeah, they have the same.
So,
it's
possession isn't covered.
But you could get physical therapy for
it.
It's out of pocket, of course. But anywho.
Days go by, the girls are acting more and more odd, until Victor admits Angela into the hospital, where her nurse, who happens to also be their neighbor Anne, takes care of her.
Right.
And her neighbor Anne also happens to be an ex-nun, hopeful student. She never made it to nun because she liked rolling around the old hayloft a little bit too much. But
yeah, she was like a convent.
You got one rule to being a nun, as far as I know. She broke it.
She broke it.
Like her first week. But anyway, she's always known she could do an exorcist if one were to present itself.
Right.
She's always felt the calling to do an exorcist, she says. Something like that, right?
Yeah, it was something like that. I don't know. It was some sort of redemption story.
All right, yeah, so yeah, she's an ex-nun, always dreamed of performing exorcism, and she's convinced Angela's possessed after just talking to her for about, 5-10 minutes, I guess.
A couple of minutes is all you need, really.
You know, in the original Exorcist, and this is just a bad movie, and comparing it to one of the greatest horror movies, if not the greatest, it's not going to do it any favors, but we talked about that in a review of that. The first half of that movie is the mom exhausting every possibility other than possession. Well, not here. It's a 30-minute talk with Anne.
Not even that. We're treaded through all of her options, such as they are, which become more and more desperate. But even before that, the whole relationship is set up. You get some backstory. You get that these are two people that love each other and care about each other, and that they would do anything for one another, and it's them against the world. And slowly get that as you go along.
In comparison, we know nothing really about these kids other than their parents are annoying. Like, we know a little bit more about their parents, and they're annoying stereotype types for the most part.
Let me tell you what I wrote halfway through this movie to illustrate your point, Dan. This movie is about 2 hours long, which is about an hour 55, a little bit long. About halfway through this movie, we're in this room with a bunch of people, and I said, I have never seen these people before in my life.
It seems like it, yeah.
I didn't know who anybody was.
Or probably we didn't, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a whole new plot point that was introduced at that time. It was crazy. Just crazy. Jumping all over the place.
Well, Anne, she knows a lot about exorcism. We got a whole library on it. She gives Victor, like, yeah, these names don't matter. Like, you don't have to know who these people are. She gives the one girl's dad, who's not the Baptist, who's the,
Power on.
hit that like, subscribe.
That's right.
Whatever. A memoir written by Chris McNeil. Do you know who that is? Do you remember who that is?
I do know who that is.
Yeah, that's Reagan's mom from the first Exorcist. I guess as soon as that was over, according to these folks, she immediately wrote a tell-all book, which seems so opposite of the mother in the movie who just wanted to get her daughter taken care of and forget it.
Well,
right?
everything in the movie, she puts on scarves all the time and goes out with dark sunglasses and then immediately moves after this whole incident. Like, come on.
They all reach out to the church for an exorcism. Chris advises Victor to use methods from all different cultures, and look, I'm not a Catholic. I've never been a Catholic. But if I get possessed, please find a Catholic. You don't hire an electrician to do the plumbing. You don't hire anybody but a Catholic.
You are going to
do an
get
exorcism.
a 100% Catholic if you ever become possessed.
Trust me, yeah. The more you know. Let that
Rest
be a little
easy.
PSA.
Rest easy, okay?
So he brings in the local priest, a Baptist, a Pentecostal preacher, that's what I grew up, and Dr. Beehive, a root work healer. Now, I talked about root work healers, like the local Ozark ones, last week. My grandma was going to take me to one to get a wart removed. Would she have taken me to her to get the devil out of me?
Of course
No,
not.
she'd have beat it out of me. And if that didn't work, then she would have taken me to a Catholic.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, these guys all get together like the super friends to plan an exorcism, but the local Catholic diocese forbids it, probably because no one with any knowledge or expertise on this topic at all has actually looked into it. That's probably why they've wisely said, maybe we should wait. During the exorcism, in a twist that everyone saw coming, the demon reveals that Victor did not choose to keep Angela 13 years ago. He chose his wife, but she died anyway, and the kid lived anyway, which makes you wonder how good these doctors were. Like, everything they said was wrong. You can only pick one, and that's the one we could save. So he picks one, and they try to save that one, but the other one lives. What if they'd have just left well enough alone? Probably everybody would have lived.
Either these doctors are really bad at evaluating things, or again, they have really bad health insurance, and it might be a combination of both.
I'll say one thing about this actual exorcism. From one perspective, this is just a movie about some adults waterboarding some preteen girls, which is probably why the Catholic diocese did not want to get into it.
Right. And this one too, as there's two. You get the BOGO exorcisms. There's not just one exorcism going on. Both of these girls are being...
I can imagine the writer's room, them being like, what if one exorcism is good? Imagine two exorcisms.
What if we had a priest?
There's going to be a trilogy. The sequels come out, Deceiver, come out 2026. They're going to have to, you know how every time there's a new superhero movie, they got to top it with more superheroes come in, like the Avengers. They're going to have to bring in all kinds of religions this time, like a snake handler.
Right. And all kinds of, I guess, demons and entities. Like, one demon is not going to be enough.
No.
5 demons are not going to be enough.
At some point, the mom is talking to somebody else, and she says, I didn't get to go into the original exorcism with Reagan. And they say, how come? And she says, my guess, that old patriarchy. Now, I've seen the original Exorcist. She didn't want to go in there. She didn't ask to go in. She was scared to death. And these 2 men died. We're here to talk about Exorcist Believer, if you can believe that. I know it came out over a year ago, but we just saw it, and it was so bad we had to do a review. It is the worst horror film I've ever seen.
I second that notion. This deserves a deep conversation.
It's the second worst film I've ever seen. The first worst is The Piano. I just want to lie with you.
I want to lie together without clothes on.
If you can live with that, welcome to this review. So I guess this is an official continuation of the Exorcist franchise. Universal Pictures paid $400 million for the rights. Immediately handed over to Danny McBride and the guys who made that movie where they all go to North Korea with Franco.
What?
And Pineapple Express. They also made that
yeah.
one. I was surprised when I found out that Danny McBride made that there weren't more flaccid penises in it. All right. I had a joke here, and I couldn't think of a punchline. So I'm going to say it, and I'm going to let these guys come up with the punchline. Put it in the comments. Trying to get Hollywood to make a movie about God is kind of like asking blank to blank.
It's the match game.
So it's like the match game. Put them in the comments below, and we'll talk about the best ones next week. Maybe.
Okay, could we repeat that question again?
Trying to get Hollywood to make a real movie about God is kind of like asking blank to blank. So this starts out with this guy named Victor Fleming, and he's in Haiti with his wife. Big earthquake, she's pregnant, right? Well, no, it starts out she's getting some kind of ritual, right? They're giving her a cleansing voodoo ritual or something.
They never specify, or do they? Do they specify later?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they specify what kind of ritual it is, but they're doing some kind of purification, protection ritual for this baby. I don't know how good it works, because immediately after that, there's a huge earthquake.
Yeah.
And the wife gets hurt, rushed to the hospital where the doctors say, Marge, if you could believe this, we can only save one. The wife or your unborn child.
Would a doctor ever actually say that? If you're a doctor
Only
and
in
you're watching
Hollywood.
this show, can you please answer that question? Is that a real question that people get asked? Do people get put on this? Anywho.
I'm sure it's happened, but not as much as it happens in Hollywood.
Right. In this very movie.
Yeah. So we've already started out the cliche there. And we flash forward 13 years later, and there's the dude with his daughter. No wife to be seen.
Nope.
How'd you feel about that?
Well, I mean, just resigned, I guess. I mean, we were given a
As a wife.
50-50, no matter who it was, right?
Yeah.
So I was just waiting to see who got it. I don't know. That sounds so
Now,
what?
it may not seem like much has happened, but there's already been 13 jump scares in this first 5 minutes, probably. And not of actual scary stuff, but just a cut to somebody jackhammering the sidewalk. A cut to something falling off a shelf.
There are so many cheap, silly cut takes and quick shots and flashes and music, and there were so many cuts and whatnot that I felt like I was in a Rocky training montage the entire movie. So it was.
Oh, this was edited nowhere nearly as well as a Rocky edited training montage.
No, not at all.
I mean,
Not at all.
if someone who's done as little editing as I have done can notice how bad the editing job is in this thing, you know it's bad. I mean, it was. Anyway. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, 13 years later. So this little girl and her best friend, Catherine West. Some of the names sometimes seem to mean something, sometimes they don't. So that's why I'm trying to point them out here. Like the one girl's name is Angela, like Angel, I guess.
Well, isn't Victor Fleming? Isn't that like
It sounds like somebody.
Doctor? It's a horror novel. It's like a Victor
Fleming is a thing.
Right. And Victor is indeed a name. So, right there.
Victor Von Doom.
Victor
Frankenstein.
Yeah, Victor Frankenstein. But I think, isn't there a Victor Fleming in horror literature?
I don't. There's a Fleming in literature that I know.
We're drawing way too much from this plot, I'll tell you that right now, because I know this crew did not dive deep. for these materials.
Well, this girl, Angela, her best friend is a Baptist. And they decide they're going to go. Look, that comes, you would think that wouldn't come in to be important, but it does, that she's a Baptist.
So what's Angela again?
Angela is a hoodoo lady.
And then her friend is a Baptist?
Yeah.
Do they walk into a bar?
They walk into the woods and they attempt to contact Angela's dead mother via seance.
Okay.
Ooh.
They're asking for troubles right there, duh.
Imagine this seance. Cut. Some spooky, blurry image. Cut. Sound of a tree rustling.
Cut. Somebody was doing that. Cut. Woo.
Well, they're going to reshoot this film.
Jackhammer.
Cut. Phone ringing.
That was the entire movie. That was all the cuts in the movie, just over and over again in every scene.
The girls go missing for 3 days. Anytime a screenwriter wants to know, they act like they know something about the Bible, they put 3 days in there. Something happens in 3 days. It's like all they ever heard about is Jesus came back in 3 days.
Right.
All right.
Right, yeah. No, that's true.
On the third day, the girl...
Like they do, like all biblical things do. On the third day, what happened to
the
him?
girls are...
These girls.
On the third day, the girls are found in a barn with burns on their feet and all dirty and stuff.
Right.
So they take them to the hospital / police station / school. At some point in this movie, they keep going back and forth between the school, the hospital, and the police station. I think every single building looks exactly the same. The lighting's the same. The background extras, I believe, are the same. But they're just supposed to believe us now. This is the police station. Okay, now we're at the hospital.
I feel like all of that budget was spent on the $400 million buying the rights for The Exorcist. Put the name on there.
Here's a warehouse. Make it work.
Right. Here's a warehouse and some cardboard.
Anyway, those girls, like, they're in shock and whatnot. The doctors look at them for about 5 minutes to say, well, there ain't nothing we can do about you. Get your burnt feet and trauma self on home. And I think you said they must have you and more.
Right.
Same insurance we got.
Yeah, they have the same.
So,
it's
possession isn't covered.
But you could get physical therapy for it. It's out of pocket, of course. But anywho.
Days go by, the girls are acting more and more odd, until Victor admits Angela into the hospital, where her nurse, who happens to also be their neighbor Ann, takes care of her.
Right.
And her neighbor Ann also happens to be an ex-nun, hopeful student. She never made it to nun because she liked rolling around the old hayloft a little bit too much. But
yeah, she was like a convent.
You got one rule to being a nun, as far as I know. She broke it.
She broke it.
Like her first week. But anyway, she's always known she could do an exorcist if one were to present itself.
Right.
She's always felt the calling to do an exorcist, she says. Something like that, right?
Yeah, it was something like that. I don't know. It was some sort of redemption story.
All right, yeah, so yeah, she's an ex-nun, always dreamed of performing exorcism, and she's convinced Angela's possessed after just talking to her for about, 5-10 minutes, I guess.
A couple of minutes is all you need, really.
You know, in the original Exorcist, and this is just a bad movie, and comparing it to one of the greatest horror movies, if not the greatest, it's not going to do it any favors, but we talked about that in a review of that. The first half of that movie is the mom exhausting every possibility other than possession. Well, not here. It's a 30-minute talk with Anne.
Not even that. We're treaded through all of her options, such as they are, which become more and more desperate. But even before that, the whole relationship is set up. You get some backstory. You get that these are two people that love each other and care about each other, and that they would do anything for one another, and it's them against the world. And you slowly get that as you go along.
In comparison, we know nothing really about these kids other than their parents are annoying. Like, we know a little bit more about their parents, and they're annoying stereotype types for the most part.
Let me tell you what I wrote halfway through this movie to illustrate your point, Dan. This movie is about 2 hours long, which is about an hour 55, a little bit long. About halfway through this movie, we're in this room with a bunch of people, and I said, I have never seen these people before in my life.
It seems like it, yeah.
I didn't know who anybody
or probably
was.
we didn't, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a whole new plot point that was introduced at that time. It was crazy. Just crazy. Jumping all over the place.
Well, Anne, she knows a lot about exorcism. We got a whole library on it. She gives Victor, like, yeah, these names don't matter. Like, you don't have to know who these people are. She gives the one girl's dad, who's not the Baptist, who's the,
Power on.
hit that like, subscribe.
That's right.
Whatever. A memoir written by Chris McNeil. Do you know who that is? Do you remember who that is?
I do know who that is.
Yeah, that's Reagan's mom from the first Exorcist. I guess as soon as that was over, according to these folks, she immediately wrote a tell-all book, which seems so opposite of the mother in the movie who just wanted to get her daughter taken care of and forget it.
Well,
right?
everything in the movie, she puts on scarves all the time and goes out with dark sunglasses and then immediately moves after this whole incident. Like, come on.
They all reach out to the church for an exorcism. Chris advises Victor to use methods from all different cultures, and look, I'm not a Catholic. I've never been a Catholic. But if I get possessed, please find a Catholic. You don't hire an electrician to do the plumbing. You don't hire anybody but a Catholic.
You are going to
do an
get a
exorcism.
100% Catholic if you ever become possessed.
Trust me, yeah. The more you know. Let that
Rest
little
easy.
PSA.
Rest easy, okay?
So he brings in the local priest, a Baptist, a Pentecostal preacher, that's what I grew up, and Dr. Beehive, a root work healer. Now, I talked about root work healers, like the local Ozark ones, last week. My grandma was going to take me to one to get a wart removed. Would she have taken me to her to get the devil out of me?
Of course
No,
not.
she'd have beat it out of me. And if that didn't work, then she would have taken me to a Catholic.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, these guys all get together like the super friends to plan an exorcism. But the local Catholic diocese forbids it, probably because no one with any knowledge or expertise on this topic at all has actually looked into it. That's probably why they've wisely said, maybe we should wait. During the exorcism, in a twist that everyone saw coming, the demon reveals that Victor did not choose to keep Angela 13 years ago. He chose his wife, but she died anyway, and the kid lived anyway. It makes you wonder how good these doctors were. Like, everything they said was wrong. You can only pick one, and that's the one we could save. So he picks one, and they try to save that one, but the other one lives. What if they'd have just left well enough alone? Probably everybody would have lived.
Either these doctors are really bad at evaluating things, or again, they have really bad health insurance, and it might be a combination of both.
I'll say one thing about this actual exorcism. From one perspective, this is just a movie about some adults waterboarding some preteen girls, which is probably why the Catholic diocese did not want to get into it.
Right. And this one too, as there's two. You get the BOGO exorcisms. There's not just one exorcism going on. Both of these girls are being...
I can imagine the writer's room, them being like, what if one exorcism is good? Imagine two exorcisms.
What if we had a priest?
There's going to be a trilogy. The sequels come out, Deceiver, come out 2026. They're going to have to, you know how every time there's a new superhero movie, they got top with more superheroes come in, like the Avengers. They're going to have to bring in all kinds of religions this time, like a snake handler.
Right. And all kinds of, I guess, demons and entities. Like, one demon is not going to be enough.
No.
5 demons are not going to be enough.
At some point, the mom is talking to somebody else, and she says, I didn't get to go into the original exorcism with Reagan. And they say, how come? And she says, my guess, that old patriarchy. Now, I've seen the original exorcist. She didn't want to go in there. She didn't ask to go in. She was scared to death. And these 2 men died, saving her child's life. She seemed pretty thankful for it then. Well, one guy died. One guy himself got possessed, and we'll come to find out later was tortured for years by this demon before it finally dies.
Did you just give me spoilers for The Exorcist?
3.
Oh.
Exorcist 3 is good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we
That
gotta
one is
watch that
good.
again sometime. It's
George
really
C.
good.
Scott. Anyway, Pazuzu, or some such nonsense, whichever one this is, says they need to choose which of the girls gets to live and which one to die. And if a choice is not made, they're going to kill them both. Sophia's Choice. Or what was that show, movie?
I don't think
what
that
it
was
was?
the same.
It was close, wasn't it?
I don't know.
You got
I
to pick
don't-
one of your kids over the other one. Was that right?
Yeah.
But all the parents agree to not say, "Hey, no, save our kid, kill the other kid." They're not going to do that,
Right. And they all-
Except
yeah.
the dude, of course, gonna make the dude be a weakling coward. He's gonna be like, "No, save my kid, kill that other one."
Was it the single dad though? No, it was the father of one of the.
Yeah, one the father, one of the girls.
Yeah, the father of one of the girls. So I thought it was
The
single-
Baptist did.
Yeah.
Oh, and at one point, also during the exorcism, a Catholic priest does decide to come in and help in the middle of the thing. He burst in. And then the demon telekinetically twists this guy's head all around and pops off.
Yeah. Yeah. So that kind of took the head.
I
twisting
think the Pope would be there so fast, that demon would not know what hit him. Victor, he finds God again and begins to say the Lord Prayer. I thought he was a hoodoo or voodoo or something.
I don't know what any religions anybody was practicing really in this film. It was all such a flash and
No, none of them
bang
were portrayed
of-
correctly.
Well, that and once again the scenes were so short. Your editing job is really, really bad when we can't decide, when we don't know where we're at even.
Yeah.
When we're going, who is this? Where are we? What time of the day is it?
Yeah.
You are just totally disoriented by this film, and it's not an effect that I think the director meant to put in there. Hopefully, because they did it far too well, I think.
Boy, I hope it was the director's decision and he didn't just film it and give it to the editor, and the editor went crazy chopping it up like from who knows? I don't know.
It's kind of that same idea again that we've gotten again and again, that nobody can you can't hold anybody's attention for longer than a few seconds at a time nowadays, which is not true.
Which ain't true. No, it's not true. The number one movie I think this week was an anime. And anime requires you pay attention for the most part.
It's very complicated with long threading plot lines that make sense. Exorcist, Believer.
Anyway, Marge, what is the first thing the older priest says to the younger priest before the exorcism in the first Exorcist? Do you remember?
No.
Don't believe anything the demon says.
That's right,
It's
yeah.
a liar.
Yeah.
So when this demon says this, hey, pick one of these kids and I'll save them and the other one will die, do you think it's telling the truth?
Well, duh. No.
Why did no one warn anyone? Because this group of people knows nothing about exorcism. They're just a bunch of randos off the street.
Basic. 101 exorcism.
Well, finally, the one lady throws a root at the devil and he goes up a chimney in a cloud of smoke.
Santa?
And then we cut to, what's her name? Reagan's mom. Mm-hmm. And Reagan, from the original Exorcist, comes in to see her. And lo and behold, this lady is blind because the devil stabbed her eyes out.
Dan?
So yeah, that sums it up, man.
That clip was so good. Let's run it a third time.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, y'all. That was embarrassing. I was moving over to grab something. I hit my mouse and it clicked on the title card, I think. And I was like, oh, crap.
It was
I
a
hope
good
y'all didn't hear
recovery. I think it was a good recovery. But yeah. No, that was quite the movie. And yeah, they did take a Tony Award-winning, Oscar Award-winning, the lady, what was she in? The Last Picture Show, Ellen Burstyn, and just poked her eyes out.
Both eyes out,
for unknown reasons unknown. We don't know. That's how bad this movie was. It was so horrible.
It really just was, yeah. I mean, I got angry by the end of it. I felt my intelligence had been so...
In
Whatever. And I like a good bad movie as much as anybody. I mean, I'm not acting like they wasted my time or nothing, but you know.
Yeah, no, it was kind of a pleasure to watch this bad movie just for its badness.
We had fun watching it, that's for sure. Just, you know, laughing and cutting up.
Yeah, in the middle of it, I wrote, "Is everyone in his head? Is everything really in a snow globe? Are we in a dollhouse?" Like, I didn't... utter confusion. Utter confusion.
Now, Marge, you know, everybody knows it's like I said, it's been national news. If you haven't been on Iraq, I'm growing my hair out. Mm-hmm. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. Oh. What do you think?
I like it.
I hope so.
I mean, you'll have a whole... Are you going to have the whole ponytail over to the
well,
side?
I don't know about that. I'm probably going to do it like Willie Nelson, put 2 ponytails down like that.
Like 2... Yeah. Okay. I could... So, yeah. I'm all about it. Get to grow in that hair.
What? Why did the mummy see the doctor?
Why?
She couldn't stop coughing. My goodness, Marge, did you write that?
Maybe. Are you criticizing my comedy writing? Did you know ghosts are terrible liars?
I didn't know that.
You can see right through them, Dan.
Oh my goodness. What do you call a wolf who practices Buddhism? A werewolf. Everybody knows that.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I don't bother you. Where are we at on our agenda here? We're not even to the shank-a-ding evening yet, as old JR would say.
I was going to say there is a match game challenge in that clip that we are going to be looking for. So we do want you guys to answer the question that Dan posed in there. Trying to ask Hollywood to make a movie about God is like asking a blank to blank. So we're going to be looking for your responses on that match game question, and we're going to be revealing them on our next show, I think, right? Couldn't we?
I believe so, yeah. We'll put up a little poll on the post thing if you answer them here.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I can't remember if I've already said this or not. Because it's the middle of the night, man. I'm delusional.
It's well past 4:30 p.m. I know that.
Yeah, 4:30. I'm just finishing up dinner. 6:30 is bedtime.
Right, after a fine Andy Griffith showing.
But when I was a kid, yeah, they said if you watch The Exorcist 7 years later, you would die, which obviously did not happen. But what were the urban legends going around back in your day? Like the fizzy candy and soda will blow your stomach up. I do remember that one.
I do, and I do remember doing that experiment with, I believe with Barb, but it might have been with one of my friends that came over to the house and doing the Pop Rocks and soda experiment and being really trepidatious about it. Like, I'm going to do this, but you got my back, right? Mm-hmm. You know, just in case something happened. My mouth did actually explode, but I did it.
I did too. It was candy. I wasn't going to not risk it.
Right. It's like, no sugar or mouth explode. You know, the choice is clear. So there was that. When I was older and I was in high school, junior high and high school, we lived in a town where there was a haunted road, supposedly a whole road that was haunted. And that was Victoria Road. And my best friend actually lived at the very end of that road. And it butted up against all these woods and stuff. But the road itself had a tiny little church that I actually attended one time. I think it sat like 20 people. It was a little Methodist church. And it had an ancient graveyard with just graves from, you know, it was an old road. There was a railroad that ran alongside it and apparently it was a main road back in the day. But there were all kinds of, you know, supposed sightings and happenings on that road, apparently. I don't know. I never experienced anything on that road. I don't know.
Well, this wasn't really urban legend, I don't think. I think it was just here on this street legend. My uncle, I said we all lived on this street, would call me and my cousin down right before dark and start telling us about the headless lady that lives in the trees and how she's going to get us if it gets after dark. And he'd keep us down there until it was after dark telling this story. And then we'd be like, your boy's going to get home now. And then he'd turn off his porch light and close the door. My uncles, they were both in the big one, World War II. And they were no joke, man. They were tough. They were trying to toughen me and my cousin up. I guess they thought we were soft, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Some of the pranks they pulled on you guys are questionable, for sure.
Well, my Uncle Tug, that was his name, and he did go in the Navy and be on a boat. His name was Tug. He used to tie me up and then just leave me there onto a tree. And one time I said, can I tie you up? And he said, yeah. So I did, and I got it tight, man, and he couldn't get out. And he started yelling for my grandma to come out there and untie him. She's like, nope, not going to do it. And she probably left him out there for 2 hours before she finally went and got him.
That's great. That is really great.
Yeah.
That's some good revenge.
Did cut our hair with their pocket knives, just pull it out and cut a hunk of hair off and say, take that up to your grandma.
So they were really doing it to get to their sister, right?
Yeah,
that was her
so,
brothers.
Gave us a big old plug of chew out of a mail pouch sack. Got us both sick as a dog. My grandma was really mad about that one, man. My mom and dad were too, I think. But
I bet. I mean, there's harmless pranks like cutting off a child's hair. And then there's, you go over the line when you give them some chaw tobacco plugs.
Oh, yeah.
Of course. No, don't do that, guys. Don't be cutting off kids' hair, for goodness sake. We did not give you that advice on this show.
We've still got a lot coming up here in our marathon, folks.
Yep.
True scary stories, both with Margaret's sister, and these are really good ones, so you'll want to stay tuned for that. They're creepy.
Yeah.
We're going to have some viewer comments, a lot of stuff about the gate. I'm going to give a little bit of a Gateway tape update. I think I already did some of that, but we're going to do that. And then Margie, here any minute, I think, is going to try to summon that old Bloody Mary. If you remember her.
Right.
Tara's already said, one of our watchers already said, don't do it.
Oh,
This is what we're doing for subscribers. How much we'll risk. So far, the last 2.5 hours, we're down 1. We went from 287 subscribers to 2686.
Somebody was like, make them stop.
So now Margie's going to summon... Subscribe!
Hit like and subscribe, guys. That's the hit like and
Now,
subscribe.
for you folks, for you fans, she's going to summon... I don't know, what is Bloody Mary? Is she a demon? Is she a what?
Well, that was one of our urban legends at my school, and that was my elementary school days. I got to put my sword down for this one, because this one consumed my life when I was in, probably 3rd to 4th grade, 2 whole grades. I remember this just catching hold of our school's imagination. But we would do the Bloody Mary ritual. You've never heard of have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, I mean, I did it once, but you had a lot more elaborate. We heard turn off light and say it 3 times. She'll be in the mirror and she'll chop you up with an axe or something. But you had a whole bigger thing, I think.
Well, no, it wasn't any bigger than that, but we would do it weekly in the school bathroom. A group of girls would go in there and weekly try to summon Bloody Mary.
Really? What kind of school were you going to? Were no teachers involved? Parents?
There were. These were highly coordinated events.
This sounds like a horror movie, the beginning of a horror movie, honestly.
No, these were highly coordinated events. But yeah, we would plan and do this weekly or every couple weeks or whatever. And it got to where I was afraid to be in my bathroom at home by myself. So I'd leave the door open that much. I'd be like, don't come in, I'm doing this. And I'd leave the door open a little bit.
My cousin Dale felt the same way about Dolly Parton. He was scared to death of her, man. He said he could picture her walking down the hall at night because he thought she had big teeth. He was going to bite her.
That's like our Kenny Rogers scarecrow that we made.
I've got a story about Kiss Pinball Machine and him. I'll tell one of these days. Okay. But anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry.
But no, so we would do this weekly, and yeah, like I said, it consumed my life until I think my mom was like, shut the bathroom door, will ya? And I was like, okay. I stopped kind of focusing on Bloody Mary. But I'm ready.
Did it ever work?
No.
Never saw a thing.
Oh, we always would say, like my friends would say, you know, I saw this or that. I never saw anything personally. I'd see their little shadows behind me, you know, doing stuff. Because what we would do is we would go into the bathroom and you'd have like 2 or 3. You know, you couldn't have a whole like gaggle of girls in there unless, you know, you'd plan and meet like a couple in there. And you'd shut off the lights, and you'd stand at the sink, and there would be a little bit of light coming around the doorway. Mm-hmm. So you could just barely kind of see the mirror. And then all together, you would say, Bloody Mary. And you had to say it, I think, 3 times.
Okay.
And then you waited for her to appear in the mirror.
Didn't something you found say people would do it 47 times or something?
Yeah, no. I looked up the actual ritual. Let me see. The actual legend of it, the folklore. And it appears to be like a roll of the dice as to what it is and what it does. Okay? So it's a legend of a ghost, phantom, witch, or spirit, right? I think that covers all of them.
Sure.
Conjured to reveal the future. Okay?
Really? What we were told was that she'd come and chop you up with an axe.
Well, that's one legend. It says in this, and this is, by the way, I'm quoting Wikipedia, and it's under Bloody Mary folklore, their entry. So if you want to look it up further. But then it says the apparition could be benevolent or malevolent. I think that covers all of the levolence, right?
I think so.
And it says, okay, she could tell the future.
Well, I mean, her name's not Friendly Mary.
Right. It's not, hey, Mary, come over here and hang out with us, Mary. No. Okay, so you could see either the future or you could see a skull or the face of the Grim Reaper. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Didn't you say you could see your future, or she'd tell you your future husband?
Yeah, there was one. Wait, where was it?
Look, if you see a future husband, I'll find him and we're going to rumble.
Some stories suggest you must chant her name into the bathroom mirror 47 times before she will come out. Which we never tried that. Maybe that's why it never worked. Should I try that this evening?
I do remember it specifically needed to be the bathroom mirror for some reason.
Well, it says that evolved, though, because the first divination ritual, historically, encouraged young women to walk up a flight of stairs backward, holding a candle and a hand mirror in a darkened house. As they gazed into the mirror, they were supposed to glimpse a view of their future husband's face. There was, however, the slight chance
Did you see me looking like this?
Exactly. I was like, who's that gentleman with the flowing locks?
Flowing
hair. But yeah, in the ritual of today, you do it in a bathroom mirror. So in a ritual that we're making up of our own, we're going to do it right here in front of you in this room.
3,000 subscribers. No, we're not calling Bloody Mary for subscribers. We're going to just see what happens.
We're just going to, yeah.
There's a Rev J Bird. He says the movie Beetlejuice plays off that, and he does. It does. Do I need to get up so you can do this?
Yeah.
I don't think I want to be anywhere near it.
Well, we want to dim the lights, right?
Yeah.
Are we dimming the lights?
Oh, we can.
I have my hand mirror right here.
All right.
Okay. All right. Hold on, guys. I'm going to get situated. I can't rush this. All right. So I have my little hand mirror. Let me see if I can... So you guys can kind of see the reflection here. Okay. Okay. Maybe right there. You can kind of see my face right there. All right. Are you ready, Dan?
Sure.
All right. I'm not walking backwards and I don't have a candle, but I'm going to do it anyway. Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary. Come join us on this Halloween special.
No!
Subscribe, Mary. Oh,
Mary,
man.
subscribe.
Oh, you could probably turn that light back on if you
Oh, I
want
turned
to.
this one over here on.
Oh, okay. All right, hang on.
All right,
Let us get
well,
situated.
Did anyone
guys.
see anything? Let us know, Marge. Did she show up in the mirror? Did I ruin it?
I don't know. You know, we'll have to go back at the footage and see, I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
My goodness.
All right. I know.
Well, Rev Jaybird says it won't work unless you're in a bathroom, which I don't. We didn't really want to.
Right. That legend still kind of
Oh, my
terrifies
goodness.
me down deep. So I'm just proud that I faced my fears and invited Bloody Mary.
We do have some true scary stories coming up here, though, in a pre-recorded tape. It's our second interview.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind do some more. We just got to learn how to set them up and find some interesting people,
Mm-hmm.
etc. I just blinked out, Marge. Where were we?
That's okay. You know, we're practically like snorting pixie stick sugar to try to keep the show running.
But we are. We're going to keep on going till the bitter end.
Yeah.
Until we get this back up to 2,000. Once we break even. If we break even tonight, we're going to show our world famous Squample Up documentary that no one has seen since 1976.
That's all we want, guys. We just want to break even. For goodness sake. We started out now we have a deficit. Come on now. No, let's talk a little bit about urban legends and true scary stories. Like you said, we did our second interview and it was really fun. And we did it with my sister Tara. Mm-hmm. And we chose Tara because Tara has shared with us a lot of paranormal experiences that she's had. And so we were having a conversation back and forth about all the places that we've lived together, like growing up, where there's a little bit of a gap between me and Tara. And we just got into this conversation and ran down the houses, and she told me about her experiences in each one. And I think we should take a listen to what she had to say. It was really interesting.
All right, let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
Mm-hmm. Hey guys, Stan and Margie, we're here at the Gen-Xers show, and I just received a phone call from my sister, and we were talking about all the the spooky experiences we've had in the past, and my sister Tara, who's on the phone right now.
This is her.
This is her. Right
Hi,
here.
everybody.
Yeah. She's had a lot of paranormal experiences, and we've lived in a lot of houses, and we got into a conversation and kind of ran down all of the houses we've ever lived in. And Tara was, talking about what experiences she's had in each one. So that's what I'd like to do. Tara, if you'd like to have that conversation with me again.
Yes, I would love to.
All right. We had between us. So let me I'll give you a little background of our family. Me and my older sister were born first. We were the first two children in the family, and then about 8 to 10, 11 years later, actually, my siblings were born 1, 2, 3. So there's 5 of us, but there's a big kind of a gap between me and Tara, but we have always been really close, and we've lived in a lot of houses together, but not all of them together. So I lived in a couple houses more than Tara has, but these are the houses that we've lived together in. So the first one that we identified was the farmhouse.
Okay.
Yes.
And that was the iconic, to me, that was the iconic haunted house, because that was where I had all my experiences.
And that was actually where I had my first paranormal experience.
Yeah.
Which was
Because I was only, how old was I? I was like 3, 4, maybe?
Maybe 4. You weren't quite in kindergarten,
No.
but you
yeah, I
were
remember not
almost
being in
there.
school. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But when you have something like that happen, I do feel like that sticks in your memory.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I definitely remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah. And I remember when we lived in the farmhouse, it was a giant farmhouse in the middle of the woods. We didn't have many neighbors. But it was a great place to live for kids. Like you could go outside and just do anything, you know.
Oh, yes.
Giant house. We lived in 2 bedrooms upstairs. All the siblings except for my younger brother, and he was a baby at the time, and he was in the nursery because there was an actual nursery off the master bedroom.
Yes.
And there were 2 giant bedrooms upstairs, and 2 of us were in one and 2 of us were in another. And that's where we were right next to each other upstairs. So, and I remember you telling me that one of these experiences happened upstairs in your room, which was right next to my room.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So tell us about that one.
Okay. Well, as you remember, Barbara had these China dolls, or like these dolls. I want to say she had at least 5. Might have been more, might have been a little less. But
she had
I remember seeing.
I'm sorry. I was going to say
you're fine.
she had a whole shelf full.
Yes.
She was the one I shared a bedroom with.
Multiple, yes.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a doorway that separated our rooms, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, and then me and Carrie were in that room,
Mm-hmm.
and then you and Barbara were in the room that I'm going to talk about because of the dolls.
Yeah.
And this also started my fear of dolls, really. I remember that I got up before anybody else. I don't know what time it was. I was 4 years old, so don't really remember a time. But I know the sun was up, and I went in your guys' room first. I looked over, Carrie was asleep, so I'm like, okay, no. Then I went in your guys' room, and you guys were asleep also. And then I kind of, went downstairs, kind of peeked in Mom and Dad's room, and they were, well, one of them was snoring. I think they both snored. I don't really remember, but yeah, they were snoring. So I went back up to my room because I'm like, well, I don't, I want to be up if nobody else is up. And then when I went in our room, it was like ice cold. Like I could see my breath.
Okay.
And that automatically made me scared because I was like, okay, it didn't feel like this when I was up here before.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and I instinctively, I guess out of fear, got back in my bed and threw the covers over my face for some reason.
Yeah.
And then I heard footsteps, and then there was bouncing on the bed. Like something was bouncing on the bed. Yeah. And I was terrified. I was like, what do I do? What do I do? That's what I'm thinking in my head. Well, then I just counted to 3 in my head, and then I pulled the covers off my head because I wanted to see what was jumping on the bed.
Yeah, not me. I wouldn't do that.
I mean, that's just what I did. Yeah, and then when I pulled the covers off my head, the jumping stopped, but I could hear like something jumped off the bed and then took off into your room. All I heard was the footsteps. I saw nothing.
I think it's still in.
I was terrified. But yeah, that's not the doll story, so I just got... the doll story happened probably, I want to say maybe a week or so later, but nobody was up there. I was playing up there with I had a My Little Pony set, if you remember, like I had the little house and the My Little Ponies. It was me and Carrie's.
Mm-hmm.
But I was up there playing on the floor with them, and then I heard like a thump, and I never liked Barbara's dolls. I don't know why, I just didn't. They were creepy to me.
Yeah, me neither.
But
Try sleeping with them.
I couldn't.
With their eyes just constantly on you.
I heard this thump in your guys' room. So I'm like kind of by that doorway. So I like leaned back and like looked in the doorway, and one of her dolls was on the ground, but it was standing. And I'm like, okay. Well, then it started walking. I'm not even lying. Yes, it took like 4 steps, and its arms were moving like somebody was moving it, but there was nobody there. I dropped my freaking My Little Ponies, and I ran downstairs where everybody else was, and I did not want to go back up in that room ever again by myself.
Okay.
That's the dolls.
I've got a story real quick, just you reminded me of. I've never told anyone, I don't even think Margie, till just now, Gen-Xers exclusive.
All right.
My sister also had some creepy porcelain dolls. And one time, me and my cousin Chucky and our other cousin Dale, who was staying the night, were all sleeping in her room because it was bigger, I guess. And we saw one of those things turn its head one night, or at least we all thought we did. I just assume, I still assume, we just imagined it. We're just hyping ourselves up. But we thought we saw one turn its head and look at us in the middle of the night.
All three of you?
I believe it probably did. Like, I do
know.
think those things are vessels sometimes.
Maybe it's just
You
a
know,
porcelain. Who knows?
I just have one question, and that is, why have I not heard, like, you didn't give me any kind of heads up that dolls were moving about in my room, or little ghostly footsteps were... No,
I feel like I felt...
I'm teasing. You were like 4 or
First of all,
5.
I wouldn't be believed, yeah. Like, I felt like nobody was going to believe me, or maybe it was my imagination, but... I mean, it was real. I know it was real. Like, I know it really happened. I know that, yeah, I still have a fear of dolls to this day because of that.
I see
Well,
why.
I've told stories about this same house on this same channel. So that was the farmhouse, and we were taking a survey to see how many houses you have had paranormal experiences in, and that one was a definite yes.
Yeah, that was my first.
So then we have the house, the one on Glenwood 1, because there was a house on Glenwood, and then there was another house on another Glenwood road.
Yes.
Right. So this was the first Glenwood 1. Did you have any experiences in that house?
No, I did not.
Okay. All right. Then next was the house on Pancho Villa. Did you have any experiences in that house?
I did not there either.
No. But we talked about the really crazy storm that happened there. I remember that.
Yes.
That storm was crazy.
There was a scary tornado, but I mean, that was explainable. It was a tornado.
Right. But it still, it
wasn't anything paranormal.
It was death-defying, though. That was horrific. I remember that storm. Glenwood 2. This was the second house on a different...
This is the one that to this day scares me to my core, and I...
Scarier than that doll?
Yes.
I've heard this story. Yes.
I was physically attacked by an entity. So, yeah, that one tops the dolls for sure to me.
Okay, so tell us about that one.
Okay, I can tell you about the first paranormal experience, and then I'll tell you about that.
Okay.
This is when I knew the house was haunted, okay? Do you remember the basement there?
I do. That basement was not pleasant.
There was a lot of activity that happened down there, but mainly it was noises. It was like it would play with our toys. Even when they didn't have batteries in them, they would... And Margaret would be like, go down there and play with your toys. And we're like... No, because don't you hear it down there? Or like our little piano would play like creepy tunes and stuff that it didn't even play.
Like you could hear it from upstairs?
Yes.
Yes. Could Mom hear it? Like Mom could hear it too? Like what?
Yeah, she would say like, we'll just take the batteries out of it. And they're like, we did, Mom, because it was doing that for a while. So we're like, yeah, we don't want it on. We don't want it on at all. We would turn it off, and then it would somehow come back on, so we took the batteries out, and it still did it.
There was one time when I was tucking the girls into bed, and they had a Barney doll, and there's nothing creepier than hearing this coming out of the darkness, I'll tell you what. I was tucking the kids into bed, and it was total battery failure, nothing paranormal about it whatsoever. But I'm walking out of the room, good night, girls, I love you. And then you hear, I love you. Coming out. It was like the dying voice of Barney coming out of the darkness, and I was like, oh my gosh, that was awful. But anyway, so toys would play, or something would play with the toys downstairs.
And all this paranormal activity, like anytime anything happened, we were usually having fun. And we were usually together. That's why I do think whatever was there was either evil or even possibly demonic. And I don't like to say that, but I mean...
Okay.
Yeah, it definitely didn't like children. I was about 8 when we lived there, I think. 8 or 9.
And you feel like it was hateful?
Yes.
Okay.
You could feel it. You know what I mean? Like, you know how they say you feel something watching you or whatever and stuff like that.
I
You
really didn't
definitely
like that
felt that in
house.
the house, but you felt it felt evil. It felt like it hated you.
Okay.
Like it was scary.
Yeah.
But Barbara was watching us. This was the first time I remember actually going, okay, there's something in this house. We were downstairs and we were playing charades. We used to play that all the time. It was me, Barbara, Carrie, and Ermin.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we're having fun. We're, you know, doing this guessing stuff and all that. And out of the corner of my eye, around like the hallway area, which was down the way a little bit,
Yeah.
but I saw something black. It looked like a black shadow or something.
You saw a
But I saw,
shadow
like-
man.
Yeah, I think that's what I saw, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I saw something peek out of there, but then it just like, it disappeared that quickly. But I was like, okay, whatever. My eyes are playing tricks. I didn't really give it too much thought. But as we kept giggling and having a good time or whatever, then we hear somebody, and I'm talking stomping up the stairs like there was no... Ernest covered his ears. I remember that. Like,
Really?
Oh,
he was
wow.
like- yeah, he was like, no, no, no. And then I'm like, did you guys hear that? And Barbara was like fearless or something because she just said, yeah. And then she got up off the couch and went directly where we heard it. And we're all like grabbing onto her, you know, holding her and stuff. And Ermin's like, I didn't hear anything. When we're like, he covered his ears. He heard it. But he was scared. Like, we all kind of were. But yeah, we went around the corner to look up the stairs and it was always so dark. Like,
Yeah.
when you had the lights out, so it was dark in that house and that hallway and stuff. But yeah, we looked up the stairs, there was nothing there. But everybody in that house heard because it was stomping, like, it was loud.
Weird. You said, though, that you were actually attacked in this house. Like, I was
Yes.
I never,
Yeah, that's scary.
I wasn't there enough to see anything or experience anything, just that I didn't like it.
And I already know that probably a lot of people are going to say this, which I've thought about this, and it's just not possible because of, I had marks and stuff.
Okay.
But people say sleep paralysis, right? Because that's kind of, I mean, the way they describe it, yeah, it kind of did feel or seem like sleep paralysis. But then I can't explain the marks, the feeling of what happened. Yeah, like it was real.
Okay.
That's the only way I can. But a lot of people have told me sleep paralysis. That's probably what it was.
I've had
But I'm
sleep
like-
paralysis just a few times, and it doesn't feel like it's horrifying because you're awake and you literally cannot move as hard as you want to try. But you don't
Right.
feel like I did not feel like I was getting attacked. I guess some people have night terrors or whatever, where they.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
I've
don't
never had
know.
those.
Hmm.
I think I've had a few mild cases of sleep paralysis, lasted maybe a couple seconds. It's never been, for me, anything I've experienced, like, severely.
The worst one I ever had was when I was reading all those books on alien abduction. You remember that? And then I had sleep
God.
paralysis one night. I woke up in that basement we were staying in, and I looked staring at the ceiling, and I could not move my body. I thought, oh boy, here they come. Maybe they did, as far as I know. I don't know.
Maybe.
And sleep paralysis does sound scary. It does. Like,
But you don't
but I just
wake up
don't
with marks on
think
you.
that's what happened. Yeah,
Right.
like I don't think that's what happened.
Okay, so tell us what happened, what you
okay.
experienced.
I was like, Mom was there, but she was downstairs. I was recovering from. Remember when my eardrum ruptured
Yeah, I do.
and I had to have it rebuilt? That happened in that house. But I had been home from school for, I think it had been going on like 3 or 4 days. So you know what I mean? It was still kind of fresh, the injury, but Mom was having me lay on the couch to rest up and stuff like that. Well, then she was like, well, why don't you just go lay up in your brother's room? You know what I mean? Because I don't know why she told me to do that, but I mean, I just remember that's where she's like, you can go up there. Maybe she was watching TV,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and maybe she just thought it'd be more peaceful up there or whatever.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, yeah, I'll go up there. Well, I went up there and I laid in his bed, and I'm just starting to fall asleep. Like, just starting.
Mm-hmm.
But then that feeling came again that came when I was about 4. Like, it got really cold in that room.
Yeah.
And I got scared instantly because I'm like, okay, something's going to happen. I'm getting goosebumps right now even talking about it. But I just tried to get up, but I couldn't. It felt like something was on top of me. like holding me there. Well, then I started trying to scream for Mom, but nothing came out of my mouth. Like, my mouth was opening and I was screaming, but nothing. I couldn't speak, couldn't do anything. Then I felt the hardest slap of my life, like across the face. This is where I had marks. There was like, and it burned, like it was electrical, you know what I mean, or something.
Yeah.
But it hit me so hard that I don't know how to explain this or whatever, but I was knocked out. Like, then I just went into like some dream state is what it felt like.
Okay.
Well, in my dream state, I did jump up out of that bed. And I went to go run down the stairs, and there was this creepy ass, I'm talking like straight out of your nightmares, old lady who had like really wild, crazy hair, big bugging eyes, and she was floating up the stairs and like glaring at me. So I lean up against the side of the wall, you know, and I'm like trying to get past her, like, oh, I don't want no part of you. But the whole time she's just staring at me and floating right past me. But then when I turn to run down the stairs, because I'm like, okay, she's evil or whatever, like, I don't like this. When I turn to run, she shoves me down the stairs and I hit my head in this dream state on the wall that was at the bottom of the stairs. Then I jolted for real, like up out of that bed, ran down the stairs. I was bawling. I ran into the bathroom, locked myself in there, and I looked in the mirror and stuff. That's where I saw the red marks. It looked like kind of fingerprints across my face. And then I even had like a red bump where I hit my head in that dream state.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, what in the holy... And I tried to tell Mom about that, but she was like, oh, you know, it's just probably a bad dream or whatever. But I never, ever wanted to be in that house after that.
Yeah.
I was like, no. Nope.
Okay. So that one would be a definite yes.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay, so how about Theodore?
Okay, that place was haunted, but I didn't feel... I've never felt like I felt in that Peevely house ever. So that one seemed to me to be mild. It did scare me, but it wasn't that bad.
On Theodore Street?
Yes.
You said you had experiences with a Ouija board on that street.
Yes. And
Don't be messing those old Ouija boards.
Yeah. Could have told you.
I could have brought that one on myself. I was a teenager, you know, being goofy with my friends. It was around Halloween. We were being stupid.
Yeah,
and yeah, we got out the Ouija board and we were in that back bedroom and we were like playing with it on the bed, and like it was saying it was a boy named Johnny or John, or somewhere in there is what the name was, Johnny or John. So I think my friends are messing around. You know, I'm like, okay, because Johnny, you know, that just seems like a, you know, name that anybody would pull out maybe.
Like, how many friends did you have with you at the time?
There was 4.
Okay. So there's a lot of hands on that little...
Yeah, so I'm thinking they're all moving it. And the boy had said he was 16, and we asked, okay, well, how did you, you know, die and stuff like that you do ask when you're messing around on the Ouija board when you're stupid and young.
Right. And opening gateways into...
He just said father or something. So, again, I don't know what any of that meant. But then I'm finally like, okay, I've had enough of this. Like, you guys are just being... You guys are moving it. This is stupid. Like, you know, I'm laughing and stuff. And they're even laughing. So I'm like, okay, let's close this out. I'm like, all right, we're done. Like, goodbye. And we put it on goodbye or whatever. And then we're still kind of talking about it or giggling a little bit. But then from underneath the bed, because, okay, Magra had, like, boards there to hold the bed up. So there was, like, these boards. But you could feel a human foot, like, kick it really freaking hard, and there's no way anybody could get under that bed. There wasn't enough space, you know what I mean, to like somebody to crawl under there and mess around.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, me and the 4 people or whatever jumped up out of that bed and ran out of that room. We're like, okay, well, I guess that's that.
Yeah. But then you said Mom said something later.
She said that she saw the silhouette, or like a black shadow, I guess, figure, or it was dark, so I don't think she saw a black shadow figure. She might have seen an apparition, because she said she could tell, like she could see facial features and stuff. She said she could tell it was a teenage boy.
Could have been
I'm like,
Johnny.
See?
Right.
Teenage boy.
Johnny might have been real.
Here's Johnny.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So I'm like, whoa, okay.
Yeah. The townhouse.
No, yeah, the townhouse
Okay.
is fine to me. It
That's a
didn't
no.
do anything.
And our mom, now when we got so far, we had to then count it as mom's house, Magraw's house, right? So we're talking about Magraw's current, houses as we go. So her current house now.
It is haunted. Yes.
Okay.
I can't imagine Papaw putting up with a ghost.
He'd get along with it just
I
fine.
think I definitely feel that he's friendly, and I know it's a guy because my daughters have seen him. I've never seen him, but I've definitely had experiences there where I know he's there.
Like how? How do you know he's there?
Magraw. I don't know why Magraw hasn't said anything because she's had experiences that she's told me about.
Really?
She's told
Yep.
me that she's heard a voice before, like saying something.
Giving her
to
good advice. That's what she told me. I'm like, see, he's friendly. He cares.
So
Really? What was the good advice? Invest in plastics.
It was something about money. Like she was worried about getting money together or something, and then she said she heard a guy's voice whisper in her ear and said, "Borrow it from yourself." So then she freaking did exactly that or something, and I'm like, what?
was it somebody from her bank?
Maybe they
Probably
called and
Alexa.
They were like,
Alexa,
"Oh,
yeah.
it was Sal."
Right.
Yeah, she said that, but also she told me this recently that the experience I had, Ermin has had, and we never told each other about it. So this is another thing that to me validates that yes, there is something there.
Which experience was that?
Okay, that back bedroom. I've lived back there, and then of course Ermin has as well, or our brother Ermin. I'm sure they've heard about him, right? Your people.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Okay. It's like you probably
My
mentioned
peeps.
Or thousands.
Yeah.
And thousands
Right.
of fans.
But yeah, like sometimes that back bedroom door, especially if you shut that door, like in the middle of the night, that doorknob will jiggle. Like it wants it open. Like the door, it wants it open. It doesn't like the fact that it's closed, maybe. And I've, been like, okay, like who's trying to come in? And I'll just go swing open the door, and there's nothing there. Nobody's even awake.
Really?
Do you ever get a
So I'm
creepy
like-
feeling? But or no? Like you say that is the.
I get a creepy feeling, but it doesn't feel negative.
And you say your daughters our nieces have seen this entity.
Yes. I was gonna say, do you want me to put Emily on real quick?
Yeah, no. If Emily wants to get on, that's fine.
Hold on, just a second.
Okay. Hello.
Hey, you're live on national television.
Yeah. Hey, you're live. No, you're not. You're not live.
Oh, okay.
No, you're not. No, we were gonna ask you about what you've seen at Magraw's house because Tara was saying like, you guys have seen things, you've experienced things, but it seems friendly. Like,
I never got like a bad vibe from it.
Yeah.
But I remember one time specifically when I was like little, like maybe age 5 to 6. I was like standing by the archway in her living room, like looking towards her kitchen.
Okay.
And everyone was like talking, like my mom and dad were talking, I think. And then like out of the corner of my eye, I just see like this super tall like figure, and it's like almost reaching the top of her like cupboard that she has above her microwave.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That tall.
That tall. And I remember like looking at me like, what's that? And then I remember my dad saying, do you see that? And I was like, yeah, like I see that. So it was crazy because like more than one of us.
Did you see anything beyond a figure? Did it look like a man, or was it just like an indistinct?
All I saw was just like an outline. I didn't see like an actual like person.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but like, so I don't really know. I think it was a man because it kind of looked like just like the figure.
Yeah. And super tall. All right. Well, thanks for sharing with us and our audience here on the Gen-Xers.
Thank you guys for having me.
Love you.
Love you guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. See, it's like her story was kind of creepy. Right?
It was the
But-
tall man.
Yeah,
Only a nice tall man.
Yes. Who wasn't like, hey, girl.
Yeah. Yeah. Just hanging out in Mad Girl's kitchen trying to look out her window.
Yeah.
So, Tara, is this why you've got interest in the paranormal now? You've got your ghost hunting equipment and your whatnots?
Yes. Because of the farmhouse. Yeah, my first paranormal experience. And honestly, I want answers to the Peabody house. So I don't want to sound like Zach Higgins, but
See, some people would run away and not want to know nothing. Not you.
I do, just because like I want to know why something targeted me, who was only 8 or 9 years old, because it definitely targeted me.
Probably got some psychic sensitivities.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I think I might be a little, not psychic, but maybe sensitive to that type of energy, maybe.
Could be.
Because I have had a lot of experiences for, someone my age, I think.
Well, of the 9 houses, we identified 4 that you've had experiences in, of the 9. So that's about half.
Right.
Right.
And that's to me a little abnormal, just because, like.
Do we know, though? Have we asked the ghosts in the audience? I'd like our ghosts to chime in and tell us, is that about average for hauntings?
Yeah. Is it?
There's lots of houses here in the U.S. It could be possible.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes.
Wherever.
No.
Comment below, guys. No, I thank you for sharing all of your stories.
Thank you, Tara. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
All right. Thanks for doing that, Tara. We appreciate it. Great stories there. Next time, hopefully, you'll be here live and we can do an Eraserhead.
Yes, thank you for sharing that. And yeah, it was great. I always have fun phone calls with her anyway, but doing it on the air was pretty fun.
Marge, can you give me a drum roll, please?
I'm gonna give you a drum roll.
We're heading into hour 3 of our Subscribe-a-thon marathon. Started out 2,687 subscribers. Our goal was 1 billion. In the first 5 minutes, we lost 1. 2 hours later, we're still at 2,686. But Tara's stories or something has done it. +2.
What?
2,688. You know what that means.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's hard to write with the arthritis sometimes, but we got it. You know what that means.
That means we...
Squampalump video.
All right.
Documentary has not been seen since 1976. It was a big hit in the drive-ins back then.
We're going to play that.
This is a real deal, folks.
Yeah. Thanks for helping us climb out of the hole,
Tip of my
guys.
hat to you.
We love you.
All right.
Oh, you got to bring up the chat.
What if someone is just joining us for the first time ever, Marge, and they see you there and think that's just you all the time?
It is.
And me too. I'm just a fancy top hat wearing fella.
I mean, I would say to this new subscriber, first of all, I'd say welcome and thanks. But also then I'd say, you might turn on the Gen-Xers one day and see this, or you might turn it on another day and see something about the Gateway program. Mm-hmm. Or you might turn it on another day and get a microwave cooking recipe. Yeah, make sure you hit that bell because we cover a lot of topics. The algorithm doesn't always know what to do with this. Yeah. And we do have like a membership thing. Tomorrow I'm going to put an uncut version of that interview up there. I didn't cut much, just I had to do a little bit for time or whatever. All of our video essays, all of our research stuff, all of our live stuff, free to everyone always, and always will be. Mm-hmm. This membership thing is mostly just some behind the scenes stuff. Our show practice when we're running through the things, so Our show
whatever.
bloopers.
Please do not feel pressured to, whatever. Not trying to put on the hard sell. Speaking of those old gateway tapes, Margaret.
Yeah.
Are we to the viewer comment section?
I think so. I think, yeah. I would like to go over some viewer comments. We haven't done that in a little while.
No, I'm working on a gate program video that's going to come out. I don't know what week in November, but we're going to have another researched one And someday I'm gonna put them all together in a big compilation thing, so people can watch them all in one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like I said earlier, I'm also gonna do we're gonna do a Gateway tape update because I've been keeping up with those, and Margie's gonna jump back into them after she's heard about some of my experiences.
Yeah, because I actually stopped at Gateway or what was it, Focus 10.
Yeah.
No, I went to Focus 14 because we tried that experiment back and forth. I remember it took me a little while to get to Focus 14. But then I just kind of, I don't know.
We could try that remote viewing experiment again live.
Yeah. I just kind of dropped off, but I think I did it enough that I think I could get right back into it again. It was pretty good meditation technique for sure. It really was.
Well, I've got some viewer comments. I will say one more thing that I was going to put in the update, but I'll go ahead and say it. I mentioned earlier some of my, just things I see in my head doing those gateway tape meditations. I'm not going to try to say what they are because I don't know for sure. But I did have one memory come back from that weird speech class because we talked about how both of us, when this happened to us, the psychic test, all that, was for speech. Like I originally got tested supposedly for LD because they said my handwriting was bad. Well, I went into this test and it wasn't nothing. They didn't make me handwrite a thing. I was putting together these blocks. I was doing the string. I was doing the psychic cards and all the stuff people have talked about, right? Mm-hmm. Stuff that you wouldn't think would be whatever. That was the clearest memory I had for a long time. And then I got sent that weird speech class, and we found out after we talked about it, many other people, especially our age, has had that too. Mm-hmm. Where I didn't remember a thing about it. Had intense speech classes almost every day for 4 years, and all I remember was the last day when I was miraculously cured. Until listening to this gateway tape I just recently got to, where you start doing visualization, something I've never thought I was good at, like picturing something in my mind. But I was doing it well when I was listening to this tape, this guided meditation, and I had a memory of a guy there, not my speech teacher, I guess the guy with the clipboard everyone talks about, telling me how good I was at that.
Okay.
I have to wait till next month for the rest.
All right.
So you better hit that old bell.
All right. We will.
All right. Viewer mail. Bree2650 says, I consider myself gifted. Someone who sees things that others usually don't. That seems to be a common theme with a lot of people who have been tested here. I can feel physical ailments in other people's bodies. I can feel someone's heartbeat and their eternal emotional responses at things. I remember taking the hearing headphone test and intentionally fibbing not being able to hear certain tones. To this day, I still don't know why. So intuition, I reckon. Do you believe in intuition?
Absolutely, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
How do you know when it's intuition and when it's just cold feet or something?
I don't think you really do. I think, that's why people call it gut, because you can't really separate it from, like, it's definitely a physiological response, I think. If you're, if you're feeling the hairs on your arms go up, or you get deja vu, and that's an overwhelming feeling that kind of overtakes your whole body, So I don't know how you would tell. I don't know.
All right. Connor J71 wrote, I also remember a tall guy in an Air Force uniform coming into our classroom and we were told to draw a spaceship. I couldn't be bothered, so I just drew a triangle and colored it black. Those black triangle spaceships. Oh. My last memory was a tall Air Force guy grinning down at me. SSP recruitment program 100%. I didn't know what that meant, but luckily he clarified secret space program. So I think this is something I've heard someplace else. If anybody's getting more information on that, we're always looking for new leads. Send us an email or just a comment. Quickly, Gaia Scrying said that she likes those tapes, or I don't know if it's he or she likes those tapes, and yeah, all kinds of good experiences with them. Let's see.
I think, you had mentioned that you visualize really well. That there was a part.
I haven't been able to. I've always thought it was something I was bad at, really, until I did good on it listening to that tape the other night, and I remembered that. So I wonder if I don't know.
Well, that's what I was saying, that you had said that it clicked for you during a certain portion of that tape.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. Like once, and I can't even tell you what portion it was. It might. I know he talks about if you ever want to come back to the state, you're gonna picture the number 10 in a circle and blah blah. I had a picture just like that, and I knew it was an old picture. I was like, I know that picture.
Interesting.
I've made that picture before. So that was, just weird little stuff like that.
Flying Ace wrote, does anyone else remember during the test seeing the weird kaleidoscope animated imagery? I do not. I have seen other people mention it on Reddit and also probably on our channel. Do you remember anything about that?
I don't.
Back anything?
No. Mine is mostly the tones and the cards, really. A lot of the cards.
He also said, or she, again, I'm not sure. Love y'all's channel. Found you both from your first video on the subject a few months back. Also, side note, you both got the best profile picture ever. Thanks so much.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Richard, I just want to say real quick, Kabasa said he was in this from 1990 1995 with one other person. He remembers vividly the teacher and one other person. He doesn't remember much else for that time. He had speech therapy for stuttering. And he remembers the cards, but he just wanted to say, he talked to his wife about this, kind of like I did you the first time I heard this. And he said, it's blowing our minds right now. It's exactly what it did to us. I first heard those Gateway tapes, and yeah.
Yeah, it's very weird. Very, very weird, to say the least.
On that first one you did, or maybe the third one, Clyde Burley says, thank you for this. Really well done and dense, meaty with info.
Nice.
Nice job, yeah. So, we'll have much more on this next month. We haven't forgotten. Again, this was not the kind of thing we do on our channel normally, although we do the mysterious side of the universe stuff, but it's, we want answers now, just like many of you have found us through these videos.
We kind of do whatever's kind of interesting to us.
Yeah.
Right now.
You gotta hit that old bell and then like and subscribe.
Yep.
All right.
Well, we had one more scary story. Speaking of viewer comments, we had somebody email us with a true scary story that we also wanted to share with you, that I read aloud. So Dan.
Yeah, and I just made a little video out of it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
It was 2016 or 17, and I was in the middle of completing my bachelor's degree at UNC Asheville. Asheville is a popular tourist town in the Appalachian Mountains. I was staying the night at my best friend Elodie's new apartment, which she shared with her partner at the time. With a few other friends, we were doing a housewarming sort of thing, and since we were all in college, we were all very drunk. At one point, I was messing around and said, "Do y'all think anyone has ever died in this house?" And instantly, all the lights in the house went out for a few moments, and we all started screaming. They flickered back on, and from what I remember, it didn't happen again. That night, I had to sleep on the sofa, thoroughly creeped out. I slept restlessly and kept waking up to the same sound. The only thing I can compare it to is the sound of marbles being slowly poured into glass mason jars over and over. It seemed to be coming out of Charlie's room. In the morning, I asked Charlie why he was playing with marbles all night, and he looked at me like I was insane. That's all. From what I can remember, I had no other strange incidents in that house.
Alright, I hope that little jump scare didn't get you too bad.
Got
Happy,
me.
well, it's not even Halloween.
It is in this household still. We don't have any Christmas yogurts here.
Yeah, Christmas season does not start till this special's over.
That's right.
If you've got your decorations, your tree up, take it down.
Take it down and get it out of here. We're not quite done yet. We still have a little bit more to go.
We are getting down to the shank of the evening, though, but we've still got some really good stuff to come.
Mm-hmm.
One of them kind of quickly. I did that Phantasm deep dive. I like it. I know Phantasm's not a super popular movie, but maybe go watch it if you want a nice video essay about it, I guess. I don't know.
It's not just a deep dive of Phantasm. It's kind of it tells a lot about Dan's life. So yeah, and it's about what you were experiencing during that time, which is, if you're one of our 2 new subscribers, that's kind of what we do too, is relate our lives to your lives, hopefully in some way.
When I was doing it, I found a lot of fun facts I couldn't fit into the video essay itself. And I wanted to share them with our fans. That's with a PH right here. Phantasm Fun Facts. All those with a PH and not an F.
Fanatic Phantasm Fun Facts.
Genesis of the story came to the director Don Coscarelli in a dream. Makes sense. It's a very dreamlike movie. The coffin that Mike sees the tall man lift by himself and shoving in the back of the hearse was made out of balsa wood and empty. And that's why you can see part of it when the tall man's lifting it up has a hole in it. I think they just barely hit it or something and poached a hole in there. The song played on the front porch by Reggie and Jody, Sitting Here at Midnight. It's sitting here at midnight.
Which we parodied.
Come on, join me in, Margaret. We're going to be sitting here at noon.
Yeah. Diddle-it, diddle-it, diddle-it.
My baby left me lonely. We just lost those 2 subscribers. The baby left me... Anyway, that was actually written by Bill Thornberry himself, who plays Jody.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The film was originally rated X because when the caretaker guy gets hit with the ball and falls over and then he tinkles all over the floor, that originally got them X rating because it looked too realistic. Not the blood, the urine. So they had to kind of change the color a little bit. And then some critic, one of the few critics who actually saw a pre-screening of this and liked it, kind of called the board and called it in a favor. It's like, hey, this movie is pretty artistic. Don't give it this. Whatever.
Okay, well, yeah, somebody admired it.
Charles
That's
Champlin was who it was.
Okay.
Angus Scrim was tall, but he stood 6'4", so he also wore suits too tight and shoes with platforms on them to make him a little bit taller. Margaret, one of our movies that we like from back in the day, So I Married an Axe-Murderer, both that and A View to the Kill feature the mansion, or the mortuary from Phantasm, also the exterior, as the scary building in their movie.
Oh, really?
So that's a famous building, I guess, for that kind of thing.
Okay.
And then finally, this is one I found most interesting. Phantasm is known by a lot of different titles in a lot of different countries.
Okay.
In Germany, it's called The Evil. In Greece, it's called The Ghost. In India, it's called Horrible Dwarves.
What?
In Italy, it's just called Ghost. There's not even really any ghost in it. I don't know. In Pakistan, it's called Zombies. In Turkey, it's called Maniac. And in Poland, it's called Killer Balls. That's my favorite title of the...
Yep. Okay.
My goodness. All right.
I like that. I'd like the different names for the countries. The different countries. That's awesome.
So yeah, there's some Phantasm fun facts for you. And then also last week, I think it was last week on that show, in the cold opening, I put some old Twilight Zone clips that we had did, just messing around. And some people seemed to like them, so we thought, since we're doing a marathon, we got to have content which show this old Twilight Zone video.
Yeah.
Let's hope we don't get no copyright strikes here. Let's try this thing out.
We had so much fun with this one. This was long ago. Yeah.
Imagine this. There's a black fly in your Chardonnay. An old man turns 98, and he wins the lottery the very next day. Imagine. It's like rain on your wedding day. You have just entered the Twilight Zone. Wow, you pizza heads really are friendly aliens. Wait, don't go, don't trust them. The pizza heads. This book is a cookbook. They're gonna turn us all into pizza pies. No. Well, Matt,
Maple Street's a nice, peaceful place.
Look, you heard the explosions on the other side of town. Lights and sirens and booms and bangs. Anybody could be a pizza head. You could be a pizza head for all I know. They could be anywhere.
Well, Mac, I think you're getting a little worked up. Why don't you come in for a cup of tea?
Sure will. Let's do that. Let's shut all the doors and windows too, shall we? Let's do that. I have all the time in the world to read this book about how to make pizza pies out of human beings. All the time in the world. All the... Oh.
Doctor, do you think it'll work this time?
I don't know. Oh my. Oh.
Doctor?
Oh dear. Nurse, get my equipment. It didn't work. Dear. Oh. What is happening? What is going on? What is going on? Well then, it turns out I'm a pizza head.
Is that so, Mac? Turns out I happen to be a microwave popcorn head. Look, I'm telling you, Doc. The pizza heads are real. There was one on the wing of the plane. They're real.
Guys, you're not gonna believe this.
Gonna be a plus or minus? What do you think, chat? +1.
What?
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 Oh my! I like those nice round numbers. Maybe we'll get one more.
Man, welcome. Welcome home, friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're home, can't you tell? Right? Oh, man.
All right. We are getting to the shank of the evening here, folks. We've been going at this over 3 hours. We are 7.5 hours past my normal bedtime.
Right.
It's about time for me to get up for breakfast.
Right. Well, I do have something that we haven't done yet, and we actually have a mini version, because we normally, for our new subscribers, I'm going to describe for you, we normally have a giant topic jar back here that's filled with topics. Every once in a while, we'll reach in there and we'll grab a topic and just chat about it. We made a mini one for Halloween, so I'm going to let you grab a couple of these before we go for the evening. We got a couple more things for you guys if you're willing to stay up with us.
Is there an age in which one should stop trick-or-treating?
This is kind of a hot debate between you and I, because I say, how old is the oldest person on the planet Earth? Because that's when you should stop trick-or-treating.
Well, we do disagree. Like when I was growing up, I got about to 11, 12, whatever. And my parents started kind of hitting around, it might be time to stop it. Plus my friends were too. But everyone stopped about that age, around here anyway.
Yeah.
Then when we moved to Michigan, where we talked earlier about how big of a deal Halloween was there. First of all, people kept telling us that, but we had no idea. That first Halloween we bought, I don't know how many bags of candy. And it was gone in an hour. We had to grab more.
And it was a huge amount. We have 10 to 12 bags, big bags of Halloween candy, and hundreds of kids came by.
But that was the first time in my life I ever seen grown-ass men knock on the door asking for candy.
But to be fair, if I lived in that town, I too would want to keep Halloween alive.
If you got a mustache, it's over. That's what I say.
Yeah. Okay. Well, no. Like if Henry Fonda comes to my, well, probably not Henry Fonda, but if a 90-year-old comes to my door and asks for candy on Halloween, I'm going to give it. And I'm going to say, you keep going. Go get some more.
I didn't mean to interrupt your nice speech here with my cynicism. I remember even at the time, you thought it was cute when the adults would come or whatever. And I was like, really? That lady looks like she's a lawyer in real life.
I did have a limit. Like if somebody just walked up to my door in street clothes and was like, trick or treat, I'd be like, come on. But if somebody walks up and they're in an outfit, they've actually spent time,
Sure.
like dressing up and stuff, why not?
Look, as expensive as chocolate is right now, I thought about dressing up, going out and getting some, and then reselling it in 2 weeks when it'd probably be twice as high.
Right.
I think I said earlier, don't be investing that old gold or whatever. Be invested in chocolate and coffee.
Chocolate.
All right. This probably be the last one. And lucky it's what we asked on the chat earlier, but now I got to go back and find it and see what the thing was. But do you believe in ghosts?
Ooh. I believe. If are you asking me to come down? Like I can't say, well, I neither believe nor.
You can discuss the gray area,
disbelieve.
but for the answer, you do need to come down, yes or no. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to say I lean more towards the belief end than the disbelief end, simply because of my own experiences, but also combined with the experiences of my peers and family as well.
Okay. Most of the chat is with you. It looks like 83% do believe in ghosts.
Yeah.
17% do not. I thought about this one long and hard before I put that poll up earlier. And I'm probably going to go with no. It's not that I don't believe in something or believe people or seeing something. Mm-hmm. It just seems like to me that a universe where you have a chance of getting stuck after you die and not making it on to the next place is kind of badly designed, and everything else in the universe seems pretty well put together.
Okay.
So I think it's maybe there's some kind of entity, like who knows what kind of dimensions or whatever is out there. So I think it's something I'm not discounting. I just don't think it's a lost soul. I just don't like to think that way because it's sad to me.
Right. I mean, it is kind of a sad. I mean, it could be. Yeah, I just really don't know. I know that I tend to lean more towards belief, but for me, maybe ghost is too strong a word. There's energy.
Entities,
there's something
maybe,
going on, an image, residual something. I don't know, but I don't discount it for sure.
The church I grew up in, and they were hardcore, These said, and I think my mom still believes this way, that if you see a ghost, even if it's of a loved one, that's not a ghost, that's a demon taking that form trying to trick you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty hardcore.
That is pretty hardcore.
You know?
But, and the old-timey country life for you.
Well, I see that you dressed up like an old-timey country.
I see that you did too.
Yeah.
I wonder if our young fans, or you old-timers know, grew up in around the 90s, know who we are. You remember the line, obviously, you remember the line dancing craze in the 90s. Miley Cyrus's dad, Billy Ray, Achy Break Your Heart Right Now, whatnot. Yeah, it was super popular. One of our favorites was Big Tim Whalen Watley and the Fancy Prance, which was a huge, yeah, let us know in chat if you remember that.
We were in many a contest doing the old Fancy
yeah.
Prance together. We won a few medals.
And I dug up that old video in case anybody didn't remember it. Again, here's cross your fingers we don't get a copyright strike immediately, Margaret.
Right.
But let's show this to these youngsters so these how good music used to be.
Yeah.
I'm big country, big whale, white land now. A common fancy prancing man, I like to dance with Jolene, Joe Watley, 'cause I'm a fancy prancing kind of man. I like to dance in line. I like dirt roads, man. I like wood stones. I got a dog. His name is Henry, and I'm a fancy man. You wanna dance in a line with me, Big Tim Whalen, Big Watley? My name is Big Tim, biggest star of the 90s. How do you like my hair? I'm a fancy, oh, I'm a prancy. Big Tim's just your ordinary fancy prancing man. No matter what I ever tell you in the future, this song ain't for Skeletor. It's my jam, it's who I am. Big Tim, big country, big wheel, Wiley. I like to dance with Tammy Jo, Jolene Watley, 'cause I'm a fancy prancing dancing man. My name is Big, oh, Tim Whalen Watley, and now you common fancy prancing man. I like to dance with my baby Jolene, Joe Watley, 'cause I'm Big Tim Whalen Watley. Ha! That's Big Tim Whalen Watley for you. Yeah,
I used to love that video.
Oh, that's one of my favorite videos growing up, yeah.
We just had somebody join that we read one of their comments. I think it was Rizma Tiz.
Let me pull that up here. Let me find it.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, and thank you for coming to see us this evening.
Yeah, Riz says that's me. Hi, LOL. So assuming that's when we read one of those comments. Yeah. Hi to you two. Glad you're here. Glad you're all here.
Yeah, we are extremely thankful tonight for all the people that contributed to this show, and there were quite a few. The viewers that shared their comments and their stories with us. My sister did a great interview, and we thank you for sharing your stories with us. And we thank our new subscribers, and we welcome you and hope that you will hit that bell, right?
All right.
Hit that like,
Yeah,
tell your friends. We still have a couple of million to go to reach our goal.
We'll get there.
But we're gonna get there one piece at a time. But thank you so much for coming to see our Halloween special. And because we got our subscribers and we got out of the hole that we started with, you guys get to see this exclusive documentary from 1976.
76, I believe. Yeah, Missouri Squampalump, which if you don't know what that is, you're gonna.
Yeah.
Bud. All right. Good night, everyone.
Happy Halloween. Watch this documentary. Come back and see us.
Let us know if you think we should do a Thanksgiving marathon as well.
Bye, guys.
Squampy's coming! Squampy!
Sir? Sir, there's really nothing coming. I don't see anything.
In the hills and fields where I grew up, in the river country of eastern Missouri, I'd always heard tales of a mythical man-beast who walks in the woods, hovers in the air, or slides mysteriously through the waters, depending on the teller. This beast, they say, descended from a group of pioneers who first settled along the largest and most powerful river, the Mississippi, and has become today one of the world's best campfire stories and the subject of books like The Squampus Amongst Us and movies like Squumps Over Sweden, starring a young Vivian Eve.
You know what I think, Papa? That the Squampalump was in our hearts all along. Stiff upper lip, kiddo. Stiff upper lip. Thank you, Papa.
I'm a serious journalist, and I had to find out more about Squampus, Mississippi's missing link.
Right here is where I saw my first Missouri Squampalump. It was kind of a good walk down this path. Good story, too. Tell you about it. These are my Squampalump hounds, Fluffy and Bill. Come on, let's go find them. Let's go find that Squampy. Oh, they're on the trail. They're hot on the trail. Let's go. Uh-oh. See what old Fluffy's sniffing over here? There's a freshly laid Squampalump track from his tail. Lumping the ground. Lump, 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 like that. Come on now.
So you say these are Squampalump hounds?
Yeah.
Are they bred for the purpose? I've never heard
Bred
of.
specifically to sniff out the Squampalump.
Oh.
You only find them in Missouri. Breed them myself, $500 a dog. 30 for that one. Small one.
What?
Uh-oh. Looks like a Squampy got a hold of this tree. Angry. Somebody done made the Squampalump angry. Looks like to me.
So what do you think the Squampalump did to this tree?
Oh.
I mean, to me, it just looks like a tree root that maybe has been washed up by the river.
I think that's his tooth.
That's how big.
Yeah, that's a Squampy tooth. You
So
can tell
how-
it's a little burnt there at the end.
Okay, so how big is this creature?
You see the top of that?
Yeah.
Pretty, huh?
Yeah. It's. Hello? But.
I guess I was about 4.5 when I saw my first squamp. Right down here. There's a squamp bed.
You can definitely see in like something has disturbed the gravel here.
Oh, you can't see them yet, but there's thousands of squumpy eggs in there. Wait that.
Really?
Oh.
So they lay eggs.
Oh, sure.
And then they leave them in a ditch like this?
There's a ground.
Can you find one?
Yeah, every 17 years they come out.
Are you talking about cicadas?
About $5.
That looks like a rock.
An egg. Now, if you come down this way, yeah. It's all squumpy. Scratching his back right about there. That's where I get these big indentions. That's where he likes to scratch his back at. Come down, Fluffy. These squumpy tracking dogs led me here. If you can see some little baby squumpus in there. Squumpi, if you want to be scientific. Squumpi down there. He's trying to stomp them out. It's a dog's natural instinct to stomp out a squumpus.
So what am I looking?
In its infancy.
It's a squumping.
There's all kinds of little squumpies.
I believe are those.
Squumpi.
I believe those are those tadpoles?
To the untrained eye, yes, but to an expert like me, and mentioned president of the Missouri Squumpalumpus Association. Yes, those are not tadpoles.
They look.
Those are very dangerous. Make sure nothing stick into your pants. You carry home to that city. Say a rampage and like it Godzilla. Go home with one of those stuck here.
But they look. I mean, they're just. I think they're just. Sir.
We're on the trail now. We're on the track.
I don't know about this, guys.
Smell that? Smell that down?
No.
Of course not. Of course you don't.
What is that?
I smell it. These dogs smell it.
What is it exactly, sir?
Stick.
Whoa. What am I looking at?
Ow!
What's going on? What am I?
Yeah.
But
Squumpy broke that leaf off this plant. It's been this way.
Didn't you just break off that leaf?
There's another one. There's another one. Squumpy's been through his whole place, cause of destruction.
I don't see any destruction. It looks like a pretty peaceful day at the creek.
Yeah.
I understand there are a lot of names around here for the Squumpalump.
Yeah, most people refer to him as a Squumpalump. Also, the Missouri Squumpy, Squumpalicious, Squumpalo, Squumpus, yeah, Squumpy D, Squumpy Scrunch, Squumpius plurimus is the Latin, but only the scientists like me and folks like that really use that one.
I've heard it called the Chimera of the Mississippi.
Oh yeah, it is the chimera, and also the catfish of New England.
Okay, is there a reason for that one?
You'll have to ask them in New England.
Okay.
See this rock formation here?
Yes.
That's the basis of Squumpalump mathematics.
What?
Yeah, they're very complex mathematical system.
Your
Makes
dog-
algebra look like nothing. Kids play.
Okay.
Yeah, they're ready to get back on the Squumpy trail. That's the thing about chasing the Squumpalump. You find one, kind of just end up running away anyway. Young man's game. We can head on back to my back to the museum, and it'd be $12 for the Squambalump tour, please.
I'm sorry, what?
$12 for the tour. It was on the sign when you came in asking about the Squambalump.
No, I'm a journalist.
So yeah, it's
and
$12.
I don't have
for the
$12.
tour.
I didn't ask for a tour. I asked you some questions because I'm a journalist.
But it's $12.
I don't have $12.
But I showed you that stuff.
Yes.
That's usually $12.
Okay, you know what? I might have change in my car. Let's
right.
go to my car. This is insane. Construction. It looks like a pretty peaceful day at the creek.
My travels to find out more about the Squambalump took me to many places and led me to meet and connect with many people, including Bill Beebix, who lives near the banks of the Mississippi. Bill is the founder of the National Squambalump Museum and Historical Society and the proprietor of the Squambalump Gift Shop in New Squamps, Missouri.
Oh, hi. Yeah, well, I've got a story about the Squambalumpus. The Squambalump. A little background, I guess. My great aunt, Rube Tilda, wife of my great uncle Tilda. This was about 1915. She was on a plane to Grand Prairie. The first one of us to ever, fly on a plane, go to Paris. And she had a, Tilbus had already seen the Squampy, and she had a parrot that squawked when the Squambalump was near or there was danger. It'd be squamp, squamp! And it started doing this on the plane, and it was driving people crazy. And eventually someone grabbed the parrot and threw it out the window of the plane. But anyway, so one day, Tilbus noticed that the crab apples on his tree were being ate. And if Tilbus loved anything more than Squambalump and his Rex there, it was his crab apples. Loved crab apple jam, crab apple syrup, you know. But pretty soon it spread all over town. We're known for our crab apple trees here, all over town eating. And then someone noticed footprints, like walking to and from the crabapple trees down into near the Missouri bayous, down by the Mississippi. And so they went down there looking right, and for the first time ever, someone other than Uncle Tilbus saw Squamp. Because before they thought he was just a crazy old man, but oh no. So they all got together there. Baseball bats and things like that, and pumpkins. Squampy does not like pumpkins. And they started chasing them. They're like, we got to get this Squamp out of here. It's dangerous. And I wasn't there. Of course, I wasn't born yet. Before I heard, Squampy bent down and jumped so far into the air that he eventually could no longer be seen. That's pretty amazing. And not long after that, the plane that my aunt was on swooped down to save her her parrot because she loved it. It was her pet, and it was no longer squawking because there was something stuck in its mouth. Open it up, Squambalump in there. Jumped out, went about his business.
What can you tell me about the origin of the Squambalump legend? I believe there was a pioneer named Zebediah Squampus. Do you know anything about that origin story?
That's a good story. I usually charge a little bit for this at conferences and Comic-Cons and such like that, but You're getting us a little publicity here, so I'll go ahead and tell it. So, yeah, you're correct. 1818, Zebediah Squampus came over here to New Squampus, Missouri. Of course, it wasn't called New Squampus yet. It was called East Squampus. Well, him and some pioneer friends of his, decided to settle there. But Zebediah wasn't happy. He said, I don't like these dry Mississippi banks. They're boring. They're hot. I like that swampy area down yonder there. And, everybody's like, Zeb, you don't want to live in a swamp. Come on. We came all the way here from our native country to stop living in swamps. Don't you remember that meeting where we're all like, I'm kind of tired of living in swamps, guys? And they're like, me too. Well, not Zebediah. He just came along for the ride. Apparently, he liked the swamps. And so he went down there to live, and no one saw Zebediah Squampus for 37 more years. Until they did. Tilbus. And they're pretty sure it was him. Had the same cold eyes. He was about 15 foot tall, covered in hair, stunk. He made it squamp, 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 like that. Squampy. About 1863.
Thank you. Thank you for the tour, and thank you for all of your information on Squampalumpus.
Well, you're very welcome, and there is so much more in my book, Squampalumpus Among Us. $350, $400 if you're ordering shipping. Could you put my address on on your screen when
yes.
you? Okay.
The Squampalump, or Squampus alumpicus, scientifically. Where did Squamps come from? And what does he want? My investigative team and I explored every possibility, no matter how fantastical. My crack team of journalists left no stone unturned as we tried to find the... Okay, that's just a leaf. That's seriously just a leaf. What does Squampus really look like? What does he sound like? What does he smell like? What's his favorite color? Where did Squampus really come from? And does he migrate, as some theorists propose, moving back and forth between New Squamps, Missouri and Corncone, Idaho? We had to go meet Coach McGillicuddy from Corncone. Oh, here he is.
Coach.
Yeah.
I've heard that you've had a Squampalump sighting here.
Yeah, we have had a Squampalump sighting here at Corncone High, Corncone, Indiana. It's a great job. It's been raining for 4 days here. You think they'd call the baseball game off, but I have not seen a Squampalumpus myself. I am a little not to offend anyone, but I guess I'm a little skeptical on it, but Timmy! Did you say his finger was up to his knuckle? I was an only child, I don't get it. But I have not seen one, but my student Timmy did, and he did an artist rendition, if you'd like to. That is artistic expression, I've been told by Principal Loris, and I should praise Timmy for his rendition of the Squampalump.
Me and my team were willing to look objectively at every possibility in the quest for the truth about Squampalump.
It was ancient aliens.